and welcome down to the big final. Your thoughts?
Yes, good afternoon, Wayne. Good afternoon to all the viewers here at the National Oil Company ground and on the live stream, Anything Cricket. Let's talk. Final here, put together the two better teams in the tournament. The veterans up against the Limers. The Limers, two-time defending champions and looking to add their third trophy in the cabinet.
This, the fourth edition of the Amas Masters over 50s T20 cricket competition, and just two teams ever reaching the final. The three finals we've had before have all featured these two particular teams. You mentioned the Limers winning the last two. The veterans were the first champions, and the veterans coming into this one unbeaten. But we have the first wicket going down. Victor Patrick striking for the Limers after veterans won the toss and have elected to bat a wicket in the very first over. That's being Gordon Maxwell comprehensively beaten and bowled by Victor Patrick for one. The veterans going one down with only three on the board after four deliveries. Good strike, early strike by the Limers, Kirk.
Well, yes, Victor Patrick again, that man again, we hold operating from the pavilion end or the northern end of the ground. And remember in the semi-final, his spell was very pivotal in getting the Limers team over the line, 4 overs for 9 runs. And already here in this piece, he's picked up a wicket very, very early indeed. That of the dangerous Gordon Maxwell, elevated to open the batting in this lineup for the veteran side, but he goes rather early, bowled by Patrick.
Just for correctness, though, Kirk, 4 overs for 7 runs, in fact. So that is Maxwell gone. The new batter is Brian Johnson, the captain of the veterans. And Kirk, I'll have you at some point run through the respective 11s. As we mentioned, the veterans winning the toss and electing to bat. The umpires, Jimmy Lewis standing here at the pavilion end and Irving Carrington at the far end. And again, Patrick, as ever, right on target. Bowling a really slower version of what he used to bowl in his heyday, Kirk.
Yeah, he used to be a steady medium pacer, no tight off spinner.
Well, all spin action, but very much just slow medium. More often than not. Finishes his first over. A tight one it was as usual. 3 for 1. The veterans winning the toss and electing to bat. A beautiful afternoon in Barbados. Nice breeze coming across the Woodburn facility. And we have Ron Bates, typical Ron Bates style, going after the delivery, floated about outside the off stump, the ball peeling off the outer half of the bat in the air down to the boundary at deep backward point. And the batter is coming back for 2. So Ron Bates goes up to 3. And the total 5 for 1 as the new bowler Winston Cam Gittins starting from the southern end. And his delivery is slapped away. And he would get full value for his shot, Bates, because the ball seeming to pitch and stop in the outfield. But lovely time, well-timed shot by Bates, giving himself some room to open up the offside and slapping it square for a couple. Good-looking shot.
Yes, for sure. One thing we know about Ron Bates is that he's not going to die wandering. Bates is going to go down with his guns blazing, usually very, very attacking, and he started that way again.
Bates is again looking to back away and smash this one through the offside. This time he doesn't make contact. The ball is through to the keeper. This time it's driven. This is going to go close to the boundary at deep cover. The ball beginning to pull up, but into the rope it goes now for 4. Again, run base, given some room outside the yard, some room to free the arms and hitting it out of the middle, beautifully timed.
Well, the Bates and Johnson combination, they've been together for a long, long time. Being Holder played most of their cricket together. Brian Johnson, captain of this veterans team. Ron Bates, Anthony Morris, Winston Warren, Orion Bostic, Raymond Ogis, Gordon Maxwell, Emerson Jordan, Pedro Eagard, Ian Drakes, and Hayden Archer. And for the Limers team, captain by Keith Seal, Victor Patrick, the vice captain, Ken Mears, Gregory Gaskin, Michael Eagard, Derwin Thompson, Edward Ince, Dave Estwick, Len Gill, Roger Phillips, and Winston Giddens.
Well, Giddens coming in for some early tap from Bates. Here he is, flighting this one up, well, floating it up. And Bates looking for the big drive. Not a lot of movement of the feet, just playing from the crease. Ball coming off low on the bat. Dot ball, 11 for 1. And Bates this time is drawn into defense. Much flatter delivery this time. Better control delivery, not giving Bates the room outside that awesome. Good finish to that over number 2. 11 for 1. So, invariably, it will be Victor Patrick to continue the bowling from the northern end. He'll be bowling to Brian Johnson. And turned away into the onside. They go quickly for a single. The ball turned away into that gap between the fielder just behind square and Ince there at mid-wicket. So, good smart play on the part of Johnson, deliberately finding that open space. This Patrick is again outside the leg stump, swept away, down to the boundary at deep, at long leg for 4. Uncharacteristically, a wayward delivery from Patrick.
Yeah, poorly lined delivery from Patrick. Usually very, very economical. And this delivery clearly angling down the leg side. And Bates just helping it into the fine leg region. A nice shot by Bates. Bates looking really, really positive without being overly attacking. So, good start here by Bates. Good start by the veterans team. Remember, they won the toss and decided to bat first in the all-important final.
16 for 1. Bates into double figures. He's 13, has already struck 2 boundaries. So Patrick again. This time gets this one straight. Bates playing from the crease. Just turning it away square on the onside for another easy single. So a good rotation here between these two. You talk about the understanding, the time that this pair have spent playing together. Will have quite almost the perfect understanding of each other's game.
Yeah, and they do enjoy batting with each other.
Slip backward point, square cover, extra cover, mid off the offside fielder. This is the delivery, a stifled appeal coming only from the bowler. As Johnson comes onto the front foot. Then on the onside, we've got a long on, a man there short, straightest mid-wicket, and a fielder at backward square. There's also a deep mid-wicket as this delivery outside the off stump, and off the back foot goes Johnson, hits it hard into the turf. Just another dot. So Johnson 1, Bates 14, the batsman dismissed Gordon Maxwell, bowled by Victor Patrick for 1, 17 for 1, as this time covering up is Johnson. Coming across his wicket, gets another perfectly pitched delivery from Patrick. Another Victor Patrick over comes to an end. We've had 3 so far. The veterans, 17 for 1. Coming down. Well, Gittins is coming in, running towards us here in the pavilion, in the commentary area. And his first delivery of the second over is struck in the air wide of the fielder at mid-off and down to the boundary it goes for the third time from Ron Bates' bat. It's gone for 4. So Bates, again, given some room, a short delivery from Gittins.
Well, yes, really wide and allowing Bates yet again to free his arms and punching it just to the left of the man. It looks like Ken Mears at mid-off and into the boundary. So Bates batting quite well so far. He started positively.
Well, the man in at mid-off in the circle. The two fielders allowed outside as usual in the power play, outside the restrictive circle. Now we're going to see an adjustment.
The long off is going down. They've asked the man at long on to come out into the circle at mid-on.
So Gittins is in and the Bates squared up somewhat, looking to play that delivery into the onside. And
interestingly, we're in the two men now outside the 30-yard circle or this cover, man on the cover boundary and the man at long off.
So I think Bates would have seen that and would be eyeing up that leg side, especially straight down the ground in that long on area.
But getting so far has been bowling to his field. Bowling very well, just maintaining. And Bates is in his one.
This has gone high. Catch me if you can. Nobody can. Yes, Ken Mears can. So very, very good catch too.
So what I can tell you, we're bowling to his field and operating to a plan. It's not giving him the arms. And there was Bates again trying to go over the long off position. Even with a long off in place, Bates backed himself to clear him and then make good full contact. And the second wicket goes that of Ron Bates. A good catch too, way and holder. Two fielders coming around. Could have been a real collision there, but the two of them coming around. And in the end, Ken Mears taking a good catch, and the second wicket that of Ron Bates goes down. He made 18.
Very good understanding between Mears and Len Gill. Actually, the ball, it was really Mears' catch with the wind pushing the ball away towards the offside because we've got a strong breeze coming from the southeastern side of the ground, and that ball hit into the breeze and swerving that ball away towards long off. Good catch. Bates gone for 18, 21 for 2. DJ Kirk.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
4 balls in the fourth over. And Gittins now with his first wicket under his belt, brings Bostic onto the front foot, pushes it away square on the offside for no run. So a good start here by the Limers, getting rid of Ron Bates, who looked very dangerous, looked in good touch until his dismissal. As Gittins is in again, and again, good delivery, just pitching down just outside the off stump and drifting a bit further away. And Bostic coming forward, bat and pad close together, pushes it away on the outside. The end of over number 4. It has been a good tight contest so far, 21 for 2. So the start of over number 5. Patrick is down the leg side, not taken cleanly by keeper Gaskin. Ball runs down to the short fine leg position. And in fact, that ball came off the bat or maybe the glove. As that one angled down the leg side and Johnson
so
getting
to say that a drop chance, then.
But yes, I really it would have been a tough one nonetheless. But technically, it is a chance because it did touch the keeper, maybe even touched his glove. So Johnson on to 2 brings Bostic, who has just faced 2 deliveries, and Bostic is driving. Well stopped by Gill there at point. Can't stop the single though, as Bostic gets off the mark. Brings the total up to 23 for 2. And turned into the onside to go for this quick single and get it quite easily. Again, good understanding between the pair.
Well, yes, and these two are a bit more nimble than the others between the wicket and looking for every opportunity to pick up those quick singles.
Yeah, very busy player, Orion Bostic. Has a look around. And this time much too close to the fielder there. The captain of the Limers, Keith Seal, in that shortish extra cover. So there is no run. Again, Bostic forced into defense, but of course, the still early days yet, having lost the 2 wickets. This very experienced pair, they will understand the need to consolidate, to rebuild the innings. This time he's choking it, Bostic, up to mid-off. Comes through for a single, but of course, there's also the factor of the power play occur, where you would want to make full use whenever possible of those restrictions in the outfield. But 25 for 2 at the end of 5, the veterans again winning the toss and electing to bat.
Over number 6, about to get started, is going to be Cam Giddings to continue. Bowling delivery, which is bringing Bostic forward, looking for single into the offside. But this time the fielder in there looks like Raw coming in rather quickly there in that cover region and wouldn't allow a single there. So no, Bostic looking to get something done, asking one of the fielders to help him out with his laces.
Know some people who might tie both laces of both feet together. I've seen that happen.
That was back in the old days.
You're suggesting you're aging me, Kurt.
So, Bostic with both laces not tied together, settles over his bat, and Giddings is on his way into him. And Bostic is driving down to long off. Fielder comes around and drops the catch. Ken Mears, the culprit down there. Important drop catch. Wayne Holder. Bostic there trying to be aggressive and hitting this one down to long off, straight to long off, and the catch goes a begging.
He took the difficult one and dropped the simple one. That ball traveling straight to him. Good height, not a lot of power. Had all the time in the world to catch up with it.
This one, the fielder coming in off the sweeper, gives it up quite early. In the end, it looks like Thompson coming off the sweeper boundary. And there was the batsman Johnson again, loft in a delivery outside the yard, stop high into the air. And the fielder coming in couldn't get there, and Settle decided to pull out very early in the piece. So some good tight stuff being offered here by Gittins. 27 for 2. Bostic was on 3. He's been given a chance when he was on 2. A delivery driven down to long on, pleasantly down the ground this time. Glenn Gill gets in the way, and one more to Bostic. One more to the score. 28 for 2. The wicket's gone. Gordon Maxwell. He was bowled by Victor Patrick for 1 and Ron Bates. He was caught by Ken Mears at the long off position of the bowling of Winston Giddens. Giddens on his way to bowl to Johnson. Johnson is in this one. High, nice and straight. Maximum. A lovely shot there by Johnson. Being allowed to free his arms, we're holding lofting it straight back over the bowler's head and to the right of the man at long off and over the boundary for 6.
That's a boy of the great, the great Richard Puff Edwards always told us, if you go straight, you can never go wrong. And that was hit as straight as a die.
34 for 2. Giddens on his way into Johnson. Short outside the all-stop. Cut magnificently into the point boundary. A lovely shot there by Johnson, giving a lot of room outside the all stump. And those of you who know Brian Johnson and say they never mess with Brian Johnson's all stump wing holder.
Well, that delivery, that over, a quite expensive one sent down by Gittins. The final over of the power play too. And you saw that urgency in the play. It even led to the almost dismissal of Bostic off the first delivery. But this pair again recognizing that it was the end of the power play, the final over, really looking to press on. But that back cut there from Brian Johnson, they will do well today to play a better shot than that.
38 for 2, the end of the batting power play. Johnson 14 from 11, Bostic 4 from 9. Victor Patrick 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 12, and Winston Giddens, the other opening bowler, bit expensive, 3 overs, 1 for 25.
So now with the restrictions lifted, it's still going to be Patrick. So Patrick will bowl his full allotment in the one spell, just as we saw in the second in the eliminator, or the second qualifier.
Patrick on his way, bowls a delivery down the leg. So there's a loud appeal, and Bostic walks. A brilliant catch taken by wicketkeeper Gregory Gaskin, an important one. I'll tell you why as well. We know down the leg side, and there was Bostic attempting to turn it, got the edge, and the catch brilliantly taken by the keeper, and moving brilliantly away to his left. Wayne Hall, as a former keeper, you would have been pleased with that work.
Well, yes, very, very good work. Sliding down the leg side, good footwork there on the part of Gaskin. We did speak of the miss that took place in the last over bowled by Patrick, but this time we saw Gaskin getting the wheels in motion and really gliding down that leg side. A slight tickle by Bostic, and he didn't even wait for the umpire to make the decision. He made his way back to the pavilion.
That dismissal as well by the wicketkeeper Gaskin takes him to join Owen Birch at the top of the keepers with the most dismissals list. They both have 5 now. So Gaskin looking to add 1 more to go solely to the top of that tree. 38 for 3. So definitely in a spot of body, you would say, no way and hold of the veterans team. Remember, they won the toss and decided without hesitation on a perfect looking batting strip to take first knock at the end of the batting power play. 38 for 2, no, 38 for 3 at the start of over number 7. Wayne Hall.
3 good wickets to lose, or 3 good wickets to take on the part of the Limers, the 2 openers, and Orient Bostic. Bostic was among the runs when these 2 teams met in the first qualifier last weekend.
The new batsman is Winston Warren. 5 matches, 4 innings, 64 runs, 21.33 averaging. So he'll really need to step up and come to the plate here for his team here, Wayne Holder. Lots of batting to do. This is only over number 7. So lots of work here.
First left-hander that we've seen today.
So Victor Patrick, operator was slit, a man at point, a man in at cover. Bowser Davis is bringing the batsman Warren forward. It captain in Keith Steele in at a shortish mid-wicket. Does he fielding? 1, 2, 3 men on the leg side boundary for the new batsman. As Patrick passes the ball from hand to hand on his way past umpire Jimmy Lewis. Bowser Davis, the batsman is turning down the leg side. Wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any forthcoming as Agard. In fact, wide called by the umpire. So 2 more to the score, takes it up to 40.
The one man who would have been very relieved with that dismissal of Orion Bostic, though, would have been Ken Mears,
Yeah, who would have just dropped
who
him.
would have put him down in the previous over, so he would be breathing a lot easier, that it didn't really cost his team a lot.
40 for 3. The Limers team, ably led by Keith Seal, who's making some adjustments now in hold. He's asking the man on the sweeper boundary to come around about 5 yards to his left. And Patrick on his way into bowler delivery, which is bringing the batsman Johnson forward, the captain of this veteran side, leading batsman. He will be looking to do all of the scoring for this team now. And hold has to dig really deep. Has to be there down to about the 17th, 18th over.
Well, he's been in this territory plenty times before now.
As Patrick on his way into Johnson. Johnson is back and then forward to a well-flighted delivery, deceiving him a bit in length. But Johnson equal to the task.
I think Johnson will see his first task is to see the spell from Patrick out.
So, Patrick on his way once more. Passes the umpire. Boys to Johnson. This one is going high. The man at long on is settling. He comes around and takes the catch. In fact, it evades him, goes into the boundary. But there was the man, Estwick, settling himself. He gave himself lots of time right on the boundary's edge. And he stopped. He had a look at the rope. And in the end, Wayne Holder would say it was a bit tough on him, but close to the edge of the boundary.
Well,
catch not
a
taken.
narrow miss. I think Johnson just got enough onto the ball, getting both hands to it, Estwick, but with no room with which to maneuver, and just tilting over the boundary line.
Delivery down the leg side, turn back for the square. They've gone for one. They will come back quite easily for the second run. As the fielder from backward square and Giddis does the work. The return on its way to keeper Gaskin, who does the tidying up eventually. So at the end of over number 7, with Victor Patrick completing his allocation of 4 overs, 2 for 22, no maidens at all involved. The veterans team winning the toss and electing to bat. There are 48 for 3-win holder. So, the first bowling change of this encounter, we'll see Ken Mears coming into the attack from the southern end of the ground. Ken Mears, 14 overs and 1 delivery, no maidens, picked up 7 wickets and conceded 100 runs already in the tournament. He's on his way into bowl to the batsman Warren. Warren is driving uppishly to the left of the man in at a straight, his extra cover, down to the man 3/4 of the way on the cover boundary. 1 run to Warren. He opens his account, 1 from 2. And Johnson, the captain, 22 from 15, comes back in the strike. 49 for 3. Ken Mears, right arm, medium pacer. Usually gets the ball to swing in to the right-handed batsman and usually away from the left-handed batsman, as the man at backward square now being asked to go all the way down onto the boundary, the man in Lengill. So there's no one saving a single on the onside apart from the man in at a short mid-wicket, as Mears on his way into bowl 2. The batsman Johnson, who's swinging this one straight to the man that was just posted on the backward square boundary. They've gone for 1, and that's all they'll be. The return already on its way, driving the keeper Gaskin from the stumps. And in the end, the 50 being brought up by the veterans team. 50 for 3 in over number 8. The 50 coming awesome, 45 deliveries, 30 minutes of batting, 4 fours and 2 sixes.
I think that works out to a fairly close contest. I would suggest that the fielding side slightly ahead at this point in time.
Mears on his way to bowl delivery, which is played sweetly down to the third man region. They've gone for 1. Lengill is after it. They will come back for the second run, as Lengill has a lot of work to do running from backward point down to the third man region. The return already on the way to keeper Gaskin, who once again doesn't tidy up, but the batsmen have completed 2 runs, so 2 to Warren. He goes up to 3, and he score up to 52 for 3 weighing over number 8.
Well, Mears with the wind, breeze coming over his right shoulder. So the ball pushing it towards the leg stump of the left-handed Warren. As this one is again drifting it.
They've gone for 1. Will they come back for the second run? No. Good bit of hustling from the captain, Kaysil, in at a short mid-wicket position. Tracking back very, very quickly indeed and preventing any thoughts of that second run. So a delivery which was angled in this time to the pads of Winston Warren. He goes up to 4. 4 from 4. Johnson 23 from 16. Comes back in his strike. He's already struck 1, 4, and 2 massive sixes in his 23 as a delivery turned into the backward square region. They've gone for 1. They'll get an easy single as wicketkeeper Gaskin has to do the tidying up from behind the stumps as no man close on the onside to save that single, to prevent that single. 1 more to the score. So 54 for 3.
Good rotation here between the left hand and the right hand. Putting some pressure on the bowler Mears, having to consistently change his lines. Left-handed Warren back on strike now.
Mears passes umpire Carrington from the southern end of the ground on his way into bowl to Warren. Warren is driving pleasantly. The man from the sweep has a lot of work coming around his right to do in Victor Patrick, and they will only get 1 run. So a good bit of work by Victor Patrick. So at the end of over number 8, winning the toss and electing to bat first, the veterans team up against the Limers. They are 55 for 3 in the final, the all-important final here of the Unmasked over 50s competition. So, of course, Len Gill will come into the attack now from the northern end of the ground, replacing Victor Patrick. And he's on his way past his umpire Lewis. Both did so the yard stop. The batsman is cutting, doesn't make contact. Ball goes through to be taken by wicketkeeper Gaskin.
So Gill, left arm over the wicket. Will be looking to exploit the angle, bowling over the wicket to the left-handed Warren.
55 for 3 way holder and still a slip in place. Your thoughts?
Well, with the breeze, with the strong breeze, he'll be looking to get some drift towards away from the left-handed batter. So one could well see the slip coming into play.
Short delivery outside the All-Star, cut away straight to the man in their backward point and get in, who did well to get around and get down and prevented any possibility of a run. So the score remained on 55 for 3. Over number 9 is being bowled by Cam Lengill. Something not quite right, so your Barts his runner. Heard him in conversation with his captain last week. He said to his captain, I'm not really comfortable bowling from the northern end, but wherever you want me to bowl from, captain, I will come. So Gill from the northern end on his way into bowl to the batsman who's driving at a delivery to the yard stump. Pitched up delivery this time, a bit fuller than the 2 previous deliveries, and there was the batsman attempting a big drive.
Well, just swinging at the bat, just playing from the crease. No movement towards the line of that delivery. Again, as I mentioned, with the stiff breeze coming across the ground from east to west, Gill can expect to get some drift away from the left-handed batter.
55 for 3. Johnson on 24, Warren on 5. Fits on Len Gill now, passes umpire Jimmy Lewis. Both delivery outside the yard stump, which is cut straight to the man at backward point. You'll have to hurry. The return goes all the way down to the bowler's end, where it is taken by bowler Len Gill. So 1 to Warren. He goes up to 6, and they score up to 56 for 3. We're in over number 9.
Sharp running between the pair of Warren and Johnson. Ball just bubbling out of the hands of Cam, getting to that backward point, and immediately Johnson was calling his partner through for the rather sharp single.
Johnson on 24 sees Gill on his way into bowl. The delivery which is played backward of square. They've gone for 1. quite early in the piece. They've settled for one, and the man from deep backward square had a lot of work to do, as well as the man coming around to his right from mid-wicket, and in the end, the batters would have settled for one. Your thoughts on that bit of running?
Well, I thought that Johnson, because of his position, would have picked up the angle from. To us here, it appeared as if the ball was into a wide open space, but the Mears was able to get to the ball quite quickly, which suggests that Johnson would have recognized that the angle did not permit a second run.
57 for 3. Gill on his way into ball to the left-handed Warren, who's punching him back down the track to the bowler. So at the end of over number 9, winning the toss and electing to bat the veterans up against the Limers in the Amas over 50s final here at BNOC, 57 for 3. So, with Cedric Best making his way onto the field for Michael Agard. 57 for 3. Over number 10, about to be started by Ken Mears. One over before the conceding some 7 runs. On his way into bowl to Johnson. Johnson is driving through the offside straight to the man coming off his sweeper in Derwin Thompson. There's 1 run who underhands his return to the captain Keith Seal. The batsmen have already completed 1 run. 58 for 3, 9.1. Johnson up to 26. Warren 6 from 10. Comes back in the strike. Mears operating with a man at short third man and Cedric Best, a man at backward point, a man 3/4 of the way on the sweeper boundary, a man in at a wide extra cover, a man at long on, a man at long off, a man at deep backward square, and a man at deep mid wicket.
Lots of protection in the deep on the onside. Again, hitting with the wind, the left-handed Warren. So they match up very much in his favor with batting at this end.
Mears on his way into bowl to Warren, and Warren is steering the delivery into the offside, then looking for a single, but Cam Gittins was in rather quickly to his right and in and preventing any possibility of a run.
Well, this is going to be very interesting because Mears now opting to come around the wicket to the left-hander. He will want to avoid Warren hitting him into the onside, hitting to the wind side of the ground.
He's on his way into bowl to Warren, and Warren is driving to Gittins, coming around. And then Len Gill coming from point gets there first. So he's had 1 more to his score. He goes up to 7, and the score up to 59 for 3.
So some good, clever bowling here from Mears, keeping the left-hander playing into the offside, staying away from getting it too straight.
Mears on his way once more into bowl to Johnson. Johnson is beaten with a beauty of a delivery. Pitch on honor about the off-step and seaming away and all that.
Well, yes, again, this one drifting on the breeze, pitching down on a length just outside the off-step. Johnson had to play at the delivery. Luckily for him, it didn't take the edge.
59 for 3 as Mears on his way into bowl a flighted delivery down to long on. Fielder goes down in the approved long barrier position. The return is already on its way. The batsmen have settled for 1. 60 for 3. Johnson up to 27.
Yeah, looking to bowl a slower delivery there. Mears got it to the batter on the full toss, but Johnson couldn't really take full advantage. Ball actually dropping on him at the last moment, hitting low on the bat.
Johnson at the non-strikers and watches as the batsman Warren cuts down to short third man, where Best, the 12th man, in very quickly and does good work, prevents any possibility of a run. So, at the halfway stage, after winning the toss and electing to bat, the veterans, remember, at the end of the batting power play, we hold it, they were 38 for 2. Now, at the end of 10 overs, they are 60 for 3.
Impressive stuff, I must say, from the Limers bowlers. Ken Mears bowling excellently, particularly to the left-handed Warren. And at 60 for 3, the innings at that halfway stage, and very much the game quite evenly poised. Just quickly to acknowledge our very generous sponsors and to pay tribute to them for their contribution to the Amas Masters over 50s T20 competition. Jilan's Creations, Ricky's Driving School, BJ's Auto Care, Hebe's Beauty and Spa, MJA Car Services, Barbados National Oil Company Limited, JD's Enterprises, The Last Stop Bar and Eatery, Premier World Cargo Incorporated, Keep in Touch Incorporated, Terry's Food Truck, and Mass Sporting Services, all the general sponsors for the competition. And occurred at the halfway stage. Both teams, the game quite well poised, let's put it that way. And still a lot of batting to come for the veterans. But we'll talk more about that. We take a break and let the DJ take over until we resume. So Bates 18, Maxwell 1, Bostic 4, the batsmen dismissed for the veterans who won the toss and elected to bat. Patrick 2 for 22, Gittins 1 for 25, Mears none for 10, and Gill none for 2. The 4 bowlers used by the Limers, and it will be Len Gill to continue as we restart. And his first delivery is outside the awesome, driven into the leg somewhere of the captain, Seal there at extra cover. That ball traveled quite quickly, hit low on the shin, saved his team a couple of runs, might have cost him a doctor's visit sometime on Monday, but at least just the 1 run conceded as Len Gill, left arm over the wicket, is outside the awesome and inadvertently played into the onside by Warren, looking to play that one away somewhere with a cross-batted, with a horizontal bat, the ball coming off the inner half and running into the onside.
Good delivery there by Len Gill, a lot of inward movement towards the left-handed batsman and tucking the batsman up, basically.
Just seeing the one man saving one on the onside. Ball going straight to him. Outside the off stump, the ball outside the off stump, wide outside the off stump. Warren with that front leg coming down somewhere towards us here in the pavilion, having a big swing, nowhere near the line of that delivery. So a dot to get in to Gill. He's again outside the off stump, chopped into the turf, bouncing. The ball goes to the fielder there, Gittins at backward point. Again, there's no run. These
Warren,
dots.
A lot of intent we in Holder, but not a lot of production.
A lot of dot balls, precious dot balls in the T20 game. Len Gill is this time struck away out into the deep. Fielder comes in, The ball drops in front of him, indicating that he may have had the sun shining into his eyes and not able to pick up the trajectory of that ball, but the ball was in the air for a long time. To their credit, the Limers, it only cost the Limers 1 run.
Well, yes, it looks like the man raw coming off the backward square boundary and looking, some would say, straight into the sun there, so giving up the possibility of a catch very, very early in the piece. 62 for 3.
Johnson back on strike. Gets a short delivery. Good lift there from Gill. That was some extra bounce there for Gill. Tucking the right-handed Johnson up. Could only fend it away into the onside. The end of another excellent over by Len Gill. He's just conceded 4 runs from the 2 overs he sent down so far. And at the end of 11, the veterans are 62 for 3.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
So Captain Brian Johnson at the non-striker's end, quite contemplative, as Ken Mears, who's had a good spell so far, is outside the off-stump, a swing and a miss from Warren. But in a situation like this, Kirk, I don't think you would want a better player to be in the middle than a Brian Johnson.
Well, yes, and immediately, as you say that, there he is calling Warren down to have a word, showing all of his experience, and it would be easier for Warren to get some bat on ball, get off strike, and let Johnson do the bulk of the batting.
Well, yes, they've been doing quite well in rotating the strike earlier. I think Warren might be feeling the pressure. The boundaries haven't been coming.
Still a lot of overs to go. This is only over number 12.
This time he's playing it into the onside, but straight to swift-moving Keith Seal, showing no ill effects from that knock on the shin in the previous over.
Yeah, that delivery from Brian Johnson was struck fiercely. Keith Seal got in the way.
Worked away. Seal again comes into action. Good anticipation. You see him obeying that basic, walking in with the bowler on his toes, and well balanced, able to move in the direction of the ball immediately.
Good work by Keith Seal. Walking in with the bowler, preventing any possibility of a single. It's been good stuff too by Ken Mears. 3 dot balls are ready to start the 12th over.
Full toss. And this time, Warren is going to get off strike.
I'll tell you something about people that understand a bit about bowling as well, Holder. 3 dot balls, no reason at all to go searching, looking for anything else. Continue to bowl tight. There's Ken Mears looking to bowl a slower ball.
Once again, getting it on the full toss. So Johnson back on strike. 63 for 3 the total. By the way, we are into over number 12. Mears is on the middle and leg stump. Tickled away behind square. They go quickly for 1. They're going to come back for the second. Johnson moving quite swiftly between the wickets. But smart play, just dropping it away behind square. There's, again, just the one fielder inside the circle on the onside. So almost anything played into that away from Cam Giddens, the straightest mid-wicket, is at least a run. Mears now opts to go around the wicket, changing the angle, Kirk.
Yeah. Johnson up to 30.
And has Johnson coming onto the front foot, stroking it back along the pitch. No run, the result, 65 for 3. Ken Mears continuing to do a very good job for his captain. He's just conceded 13 runs from the 3 overs, and after 12, the veterans 65 for 3. Carnival action in full swing in TNT, Kurt. You're a Trinidad and Tobago regular. But it's Len Gill now outside the all stump. Slapped away by Warren out to the boundary at deep backward point for 4.
A really poor delivery by Langill outside the all stump there. Sat up and begging to be hit. And finally, Winston Warren cashed in on a poor delivery and slapping it past the man at backward point and into the boundary.
So that should ease his pressure somewhat. The boundaries have not been coming in these middle overs. Of course, having lost the 3 wickets, the first mission was to avoid losing wickets in bundles. And I think they have done that now. So maybe a time for a change in strategy from the pair at the crease.
Looking at the computer in front of me, we hold 12.1 completed overs, and so far we've had 37 dot deliveries.
Well, quite a feature. 13 by Victor Patrick, 9 by Gittins, 7 from Mears, and 8 from Gill. Who is this? Would not be a dot. This is going to go into and out of the hands of Eswick at long off. The previous catch was one high, just over the rope. This time he had to come in. He had to get down. He got both hands to it. Unable to hold on. Warren gets a life. It's 70 for 3.
70 for 3 Wayne Holder. That catch should have been taken. There was Estwick taking his time coming in. I thought he took his time, took relatively really long to get close to the ball. And in the end, it was dropping in front of him. And another chance given to Warren.
Slight misjudgment, probably anticipating that the ball was coming more to him than he had to go to the ball. Down the leg side, wayward delivery from Gill. Well taken by keeper Gaskin.
Gaskin looks good behind the stumps, moving around quickly, taking that one down the leg side.
Good footwork by the keeper.
71 for 3. We're in over number 13.
So heading down to that final quarter of the innings. Gill into the pitch, turned away square on the onside, just the 1 run to Johnson. He goes up to 31. 31 off some 26 deliveries. Warren, who is on 14 from 23, comes on strike. The left-hander, 72 for 3. The veteran Skirt have gone through the competition unbeaten so far.
Good team, well put together team. They understand cricket really well, but they're up against the defending champions who know a thing or two about winning finals.
Well, runs in the dark. The bowler cannot be to blame for that, although there was a bit of width on the delivery, giving some room to Warren, throwing his bat at it, the ball coming off a thin lower edge through the first slip area. No protection at third, and the ball goes into the boundary for 4. So a fortuitous boundary. The second of the over, well, not the second fortuitous boundary, the second boundary of the over.
Yes, the delivery outside the yard stump, and the batsman having a big drive at it outside the yard stump. The edge found, but no one at home at slip and down to the vacant third man region.
76 for 3. Gill is beating his man outside the yard stump, having a bit of a double at a delivery. Not well, good length. I find that Gill has operated at a very good length, because the batter in 2 minds as to whether to come onto the front foot or play from the crease, and just dangling the bat outside the all stump.
Well, good bowling thus far by Len Gill from an end that he doesn't really prefer as well, on his way into bowl a full delivery.
Much straighter this time on the all stump, and much fuller, as you said. A stroke into the outside. A single to Warren, who will have the strike at the start of the 14th over. He goes up to 19, and the veterans up to 77 for 3.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
Games actually.
We know we had a famous case during the last World Cup, the 50 over World Cup in India. The Indians played all the cricket. They played the best cricket in the tournament. They were by far the best team in the tournament, but they're not the champions because they lost that one important championship game.
Derwin Thompson and Hola coming into the attack. This should be quite interesting.
Well, yes, he replaces Ken Mears. Mears coming out of the attack after 3 overs for 13 runs, and Thompson starts with a wide, bowling right arm around the wicket to the left-handed Warring and pulling that one across the batter down the leg side. So he starts with one extra. 78 for 3 is the total. Doesn't bowl. Actually seems to have some discomfort, not in the bowling arm. The left shoulder seems to be the problem. As this one tucked in the ear for a brief period, but Thompson
clearly in some discomfort.
Showing some discomfort here. And in some consultation with his captain, seems as if he's going to try to persevere, but holding on to that left shoulder. So he's going to bowl again, continuing around the wicket. Let's look at his field. Short third, backward point, deep cover, extra cover, mid-off. So he's got good protection in the onside. He's got 3 men, 3 boundary riders on the onside, deep mid-wicket, deep square, and along on. As he is just on or about the middle and leg stump, turned away into the onside for an easy single. As I said, just the captain seal in there at short mid-wicket. Anything played away from him, at least a run in the onside. So once again, strike rotated. The right-handed Johnson comes back on strike. And the field makes the necessary adjustment. So similar field for the right-handed Johnson. 3 men in the deep on the on. Short mid-wicket. The man at short third is pushed a bit wider. As Thompson this time over the wicket to Johnson, who is leaning back and looking to force it through that offside field. Doesn't make contact. So Thompson gets through with another dot. This is over number 14. The veterans winning the toss and batting 79 for 3. As Thompson is again having Johnson onto the back foot, looking to punch it away to the outside. Doesn't make contact. The ball is through to the keeper. Thompson is in severe pain, if the body language I'm seeing from here is telling me the truth, as umpire Carrington signals for something from the pavilion. But what I can tell you is that at the end of 14 overs, Brian Johnson is on 31. Winston Warren is there on a 20. The partnership is trying to find the partnership here, but nonetheless, it's 79 for 3, the total for the veterans.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
Severe blow, could be a severe blow to the Limers, Kirk, because one of the very important bowlers, Derwin Thompson, having to leave.
The start of his spell looked to be in tremendous pain, and I think he only did himself more harm by continuing with all.
Well, luckily, only the 2 runs coming off the 5 deliveries he sent down. So Eswick to come to finish off this over 14, and this one struck past the fielder there at short mid wicket, brings the man from long on into the play, and Johnson picks up a single. So yet another delivery up in the deep. So this partnership now worth some 44 runs, Kirk. Very important runs too.
Yeah, after those lost the 3 early wickets, they needed a pair to settle. And Warren has joined his captain, and they've been batting really well together.
The game goes in now to a different phase as we head towards what is commonly called the death overs, as this one is swung in the air high into the onside, falling into no man's land over the head of Seal in at short mid wicket and ahead of the fielder Rowe coming in from deep mid wicket. Ball in the air for a long time, but 2 more to Warren, 2 more to the veterans.
Delivery height into the onside, and the man coming off the mid-wicket boundary clearly indicating for early in the piece that he was well sighted.
Gill swatted away into the onside again. Rowe has to come into action once more and does some very good work. Gets around, releases the ball quite quickly. Good strong return up to wicketkeeper Gaskin, keeping the scoring down to 1.
Rowe covering a lot of mileage, coming around to his left there this time and restricting the batsman to 1. So good bit of work by Rowe, redeeming himself basically.
86 for 3. Gill will bowl to Johnson now on 33. The right-hander. Keeper comes up to the wicket. Short, pulled away through square leg, and settling quite early for just the 1 run. Ball traveling quite swiftly out towards the fielder on the deep at square leg. So once again, a single brings the left-handed Warren back on strike. He is now on 25 from 31 deliveries. Johnson 34 from 31. Gill to continue. 2 deliveries left in this over. In and struck on the pad with a delivery, clearly angling down the leg side. Struck on the pad. They go for a leg by that brings up the 50 partnership between these two.
55 deliveries, 42 minutes of batting, 2 4s and 1 6. Johnson's contribution to this partnership would have been 20 from 20, and Warren 25 from 32 deliveries.
Of immeasurable value to the veterans, this partnership.
Remember, both of them were given a life.
Gill with his final delivery is tucking Johnson up, puts it straight to the fielder at the mid-wicket position and goes for 1 to bring the end to the spell of Len Gill. 4 overs, no maiden, 22 runs and no wicket. That is over number 15 as we go into the final quarter of the veterans innings. It is 89 for the loss of 3.
Heading down into the engine room, 89 for 3. Business end of the innings. We're in hold of the final 5. 89 for 3. Mears back into the attack and is greeted with a lofty hit over long on, straight long on. So treated with perfect disdain is Ken Mears lofting the flight in the delivery up, and there was the batsman Johnson hitting him back over his head down to long off and into the long off boundary for 6.
Well, as we said, the game, and we see Johnson getting the foot down on the accelerator, clearing the front leg, that one in the slot, and hit again. A feature of his play, Johnson, he's prone to hit the ball in the air, but he hits it straight when he goes in the air.
95 for 3. Mears around the wicket this time. Bosa Johnson delivery angle down the leg side. Goes down to the short fine leg region. They've gone for 1. That's all they'll be, as the man Best from short third man has a lot of work to do. Coming around to his left, he does it quite well. Restricts the batsman to 1 leg by. 96 for 3. Start of over number 16 is being bowled by Ken Mears before this 3 overs for 13 runs.
Johnson would have felt that he missed out there, that ball down the leg side.
Yeah, no one on the fine leg boundary at home either, as Mears passes umpire Carrington into Bolton. The batsman is wrapped on the pass. There's a loud appeal, and he's being called through for a quick single. And then the throw goes all the way down to long on, and the batsman have enough time to complete the second run. I'll wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any leg by signal by the umpire. But there was a shortish delivery, and the batsman attempting to pull it.
I think the umpire might have rolled that ball from the right arm bowler around the wicket. The angle might have been pushing that ball past the leg stump, and it was also struck quite high. Warren.
98 for 3. We're in over number 16. Ball all ends up a full delivery by Ken Mears, targeting the stumps. We're in hold, and there was the batsman Warren essaying a big drive, losing his leg stump in the process. So the 4th wicket of the veterans team goes down there. 98 for 4. Warren, he goes for 25, bowled by Ken Mears.
A tired looking shot by Warren. Good delivery by Mears, though. One pitching up, coming into the left-handed Warren, and playing across the line and having his stump knocked back. So good strike by Ken Mears. Good comeback from him too, after being struck for a 6 with the first delivery of the over. But a very good innings from, and a good contribution made to his team from Winston Warren.
Well, he has a good contribution by Warren, and got into a 50-run partnership with his captain, kind of steadied the ship. But now as they head into the final overs of this, and he's now looking to step on the accelerator, and he loses his wicket in trying to do so. The new batsman, Pedro Agard.
Well, he lets in Pedro Agard. Still Anthony Morris, Raymond Geese, Ian Drake. So still some power left in the hut for the veterans.
98 for 4 as Agard settles. Sees that Ken Mears is ready at the top of his mark from the southern end of the ground. On his way into bowl to Agard, and Agard is punching a delivery into the offside, straight to the man at a deepish backward point position. It looks like David Estwick. He's dropped 2 catches already in the proceedings, being holder.
The outfield looking in immaculate shape. Well cut. The ball traveling today. Batsmen getting good value for their strokes.
Mears into bowl to Agard. Agard is across his stumps. Plays a delivery into the onside. The man at a straightish mid-wicket comes in. It looks like Cam Giddings. No run resulting. So at the end of over number 16, 98 for 4. The veterans team winning the toss. He let into bat. Ken Mears as well has completed his 4 overs. 4 overs, no batters, 1 for 19. So well, a good spell by him too.
Well, Kirk, I'm wearing red, and if I were a Limers fan, I would clap for that and ask Kirk, the other Kirk, to play a song.
So, 4 overs remain. We're in over number 17. Dave Estwick being switched now to the northern end of the ground. Remember, he would have completed that over from Durbin Thompson, who had to leave the field to seek some medical attention. Delivery off the outside portion of the bat down to third man. Should run fairly close to the boundary. And in fact, it goes into the third man boundary now. The man from short third man made a valiant effort to get there, but in the end, the ball beat him into the fence. And a boundary to bring up the 100 as well. 102, ladies and gentlemen. 102 for 4. The 100 coming off some 73 deliveries, 7 4s and 3 6s.
So Estwick guilty of giving some width there.
Delivery which is flighted, played pleasantly into the onside by Brian Johnson. He goes up to 46.
Immediately correcting his line. Estwick getting that one a much straighter, tucking up Johnson despite him picking up a single.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 men patrol the leg side boundary, so he'll be looking to stay straighter, a lot straighter. Balls of delivery which is being turned backward of square down to the fine leg region. They've gone for 1. They will come back for the second run. Brian Johnson will turn and think about the third run, but his partner Eagard has already decided very early in the piece that he will settle for 2, not at all interested in the third run.
But you've also got to know your players, know your opposition, and I think that they recognize that the fielder coming in there is one with one of the better arms on this fielding side. Maybe if it was Cam Gittins, they would have gone for the third.
Eagard up to 2. Delivery outside the off stump, punch into the offside. The man from point comes around to his right, does he tidying up. The return with the captain, Keith Seal, in at a wideish extra cover.
Well, when Estwick started this over, Kurt, there were 4 overs left, so we know that he's going to bowl 2. Then there's Cam Gittins with an over. So the Limers are going to have to look for a 7th bowler to bowl at least 1 over.
Hit high, hard, and disdainfully far as Brian Johnson brings up his half century as well. Opening his shoulders, getting a flighted delivery, and lofting it high, hard, and far over. Long on, a handsome shot there by Brian Johnson as he goes up to 52. 52 from 37 deliveries, 73 minutes of batting, 2 4s and 4 massive 6s being holder.
Brian Johnson, you beauty, you. That was a sweet cricket shot. Hit long and hard, floated up by Estwick, and again going straight. That has been a hallmark of the hitting of Brian Johnson. He continues to be his consistent self, bringing up another 50. When the history of this tournament is written, Kirk Strawn, Brian Johnson is going to go down as a legend. There's a team in this competition called the Legends. I don't mean them.
112 for 4. Brian Johnson is being consistent for the 4 years of this tournament thus far. As Estwick on his way to Johnson. Johnson is punching sweetly through the offside to the left of the mark coming off the sweeper boundary. They'll come back quite easily for the second run. Takes Johnson up to 54, and the score at the end of over number 17 to 114 for 4. Johnson, as I said, is on 54. Pedro Eagard on 3.
Well, as I mentioned, I wouldn't want a better man in the middle for me in the situation the veterans found themselves than Brian Johnson, the consistent Brian Johnson. All through his career, one would have to say, starting, you might probably know better than me, from his days at the Lodge School, through the years at BET, Lime, Cable and Wireless, whatever you called it, now into the twilight days of his career here at the oil company. But one outstanding feature of Brian Johnson's play, his consistency. And I don't know if you agree with me. You know, we talk about players who might have gone on to another level, some of the better players who never got the opportunity to go on to another level. And I think you've got to put Brian Johnson among that fold.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, Brian Johnson, not have gone on to a higher calling. Probably a few years, my producer, Philip Hackett, would say before his time.
Well, yes, maybe in these times, with his abilities,
Brian Johnson would be a millionaire. Easily.
Well, surprise, surprise, Kurt. Derwin Thompson is back. I'm sure he got some of that magic that Samar Joseph got from the doctor in Australia.
So as 114 for 3. Derwin Thompson back onto the field, and you spoke about the additional bowler being used, but Derwin Thompson back on the field would definitely alleviate that problem a bit.
Well, we are not going there, Kurt. We're going to keep it on the straight and narrow. Derwin Thompson is going to do what Derwin Thompson does best.
No, well, it was just speaking of the fact that you said they would need a seventh bowler, and the fact that Derwin Thompson is strong enough to come back onto the field and pick back up the attack.
Still doesn't add the seventh bowler you're suggesting, Kurt?
So, Thompson to start over number 18. Yet again, we've got a robust discussion on whether he should be allowed to bowl. And those guys asking that question clearly don't understand the cricketing rules. He has to be off the field for longer than 15 minutes. I don't think he's been off that long. As Thompson into Agard. Agard across his stumps and forward. Gets a delivery, played back along the track. 114 for 4 and holder.
Well, giving himself a couple of sighters applied to Agard. Only 2 balls you're allowed for sighters when you get to over number 18 in a T20 match.
Good bit of work by the man coming around to his left at long on, from long on. The man Rowe.
Definitely not showing any signs of that agonizing pain, excruciating pain.
Well, yeah, so
that Thompson showed earlier.
That magical bomb working really well. So far, he started much freer than what he looked like at he started the first over. And he's picked up a wicket. And in his celebration, he seems to have injured himself. But a short delivery, and there was the batsman, Brian Johnson, the informed batsman as well, going back to pull a delivery, missing it and losing his off stump in the process. So Thompson picks up a wicket, the important wicket at this stage of the innings too, that of Brian Johnson for 54.
Fine innings by Brian Johnson, well paced, but again, an indication of the importance of Derwin Thompson to this Limerick side and their bowling plans, because here he is at this crucial juncture, getting rid of the set player in Brian Johnson, now getting ready to really press on towards the end of the innings. But Johnson comes back, 54, 39 deliveries, 2 fours, 4 sixes, a round of applause.
So once again, another veteran's batting display that is again being spearheaded by the captain, Brian Johnson.
Well, at 115 for 5, Kirk, with just 2 overs to come after this, I think realistically the veterans might look to get up to as many as, let's say, 140.
They will need some contributions from Morris and Agard.
Well, yes, not a lot of time to get yourself in. They've both got to hit the ground running.
As Thompson, outside the yard stump, and Morris cuts to the left of the man at point and to the right of the man at short third man, and they will come back quite easily for the second run, as is a really weak return by Estwick, allows Morris to come back for the second run. So Morris immediately opens his account. He goes up to 2, and he scored up to 117 for 5, in over number 18.
Nice shot, piercing that gap. There's a man at short third and a backward point. Almost threading a needle there, Morris.
Full delivery, driven back along the track, into the track, and Thompson in his follow-through does the tidying up. No run resulting. 117 for 5. Thompson passes umpire Carrington, was a flighted delivery. Morris is driving, but straight to the man in at a short mid-wicket. So the end of a fairly decent over by Derwin Thompson, coming back onto the field and back immediately into the attack. The end of over number 18, winning the toss and electing to bat. The veterans, 117 for 5.
From Kirk the commentator to Kirk the DJ.
Start of over number 19. 117 for 5. David Estwick on his way to start over number 19 into Airguard. Airguard across his stumps and hits this one across the line. They've gone for one. They will come back quite easily for the second run as Ken Mears is off the mid-wicket. The backward square boundary does the work as his partner Best was coming off the mid-wicket boundary. 2 more to the score, 119 for 5. Airguard up to 6. 6.
So the veterans looking for a big over here. The penultimate over of the T20 game, always a very crucial one, Kirk.
Yes, as Estwick into Airguard, delivery down the leg side. Wide, called by the umpire, and rightly so as well. Really far down the leg side, good bit of work by Gaskin being able to get around and getting something on it. 1-2-0 for 5, 120 for 5. Went over number 19. It's being bowled by Estwick, not his usually economical self, 1.3 overs, none for 22. So he's been really expensive. And then he bowls a short delivery with his swung. Past the man coming around off the deep mid-wicket boundary and into the boundary it goes. So a boundary to Pedro Aguirre as he goes up to 12. But a short delivery from Estwick. And he continues to be expensive now. In fact, the umpire signals 6.
Yes,
6 runs signaled by the umpire.
Just what the doctor ordered for the veterans. Short delivery from Estwick. Airguard pouncing on the offering.
1.4 for 28. Very expensive. Airguard hitting this one high, hard, and straight. Another maximum. Another maximum by Airguard. A flighted delivery by Estwick and giving the full treatment hit high, hard, and straight over the long off boundary. So 132 Airguard dealing in 6s only now.
Well, this is the best of Pedro Airguard. Short, put away for 6. Pitched up, put away also for 6.
132 for 5. Estwick into Airguard outside the yard stump. Punch over the head. In fact, taken by the man Victor Patrick. Taken by Victor Patrick. A short delivery outside the yard stump, and some might argue that they think that Estwick got away with another bad delivery there.
Well, again, the important thing, though, he went into the pitch with the pace off. So Airguard had to make his own pace and was unable to clear the fielder at the extra cover position right back on the edge of the circle. So I'm going to give that as a victory to the bowler on that day. But Pedro Airguard doing his job, scoring the 18 runs he scored quite quickly off just 10 deliveries and pushing the total into the 130 region, and that 140 that I mentioned earlier very much in sight.
New batsman Ian Drakes after a good catch taken by Victor Patrick at the edge of the circle to dismiss Pedro Airguard. So Drakes comes to the crease. We're in over number 19. Remember, the veterans won the toss and elected to bat first. 1-3-2 for 6. The batsman going Ron Bates for 18 as a delivery full and straight up to the stumps. Ian Drakes drives back to the bowler. Gordon Maxwell for 1. Brian Johnson for 54. Orion Bostic 4. Winston Warren 25. Pedro Airguard 80. Anthony Morris noted on 2. And Ian Drakes yet to get off the mark. We're in over number 19. It's being bowled by a very expensive Dave Estwick. To this delivery, driven to the left of the man at short mid-wicket. They've gone for 1. They will come back for the second run quite easily after fumble by the man Derwin Thompson, the injured Derwin Thompson at long on. So at the end of over number 19, 134 for 6. Ian Drakes is on 2. Morris, he's on 2. 134 for 6 as we head down into the final over Wayne Holder.
Well, as I said, now that final over, that 140 number that I thought might have been the target set. Now they may even think of going a bit further with Drakes and Morris at the crease. Both of them known to be able to give the ball a good clout. So this is going to be an interesting contest with Thompson to finish off the bowling and Morris on strike. But a total scored by the veterans, Kirk. Whatever they get from here is going to be quite competitive. One would like to believe with their bowling lineup, they will have something to work with. And it's going to take some getting by the Limers.
1, 3, 4, 4, 6 as the start of the 20th over. Delivery slap down to long off. The man comes off the long off boundary quickly in row. He's been doing good work in the outfield for his side. Just one blemish I can recall on his part. Estwick, not his usually economical self at all. 2.2 overs for 36 runs. Remember, he would have bowled 2 deliveries to finish off Derwin Thompson's first over. Short hit into the air. The fielder comes around and doesn't take the catch. And then, man, at the non-strikers end, Ian Drakes turns as blind as a bat. But the batsmen have already decided to settle for 1. So 1 more to the score.
Importantly, Morris back on strike.
Drakes up the tree, Morris up the tree. Thompson on his way into board of Morris. Morris is hitting this one off the inside portion of the bat up to straightish mid-wicket, where the man fielder has to come around. 1 more to the score, 1, 3, 7, 4, 6. So it's a good start to the 20th over by Thompson.
Smart bowling by Derwin Thompson. Keeping it trajectory quite flat.
Thompson on his way once more into bowl to Drakes. Drakes is hitting this one high, hard, and over long on. A lovely shot there by Ian Drakes. A delivery by Thompson into the track, as you were saying, but Ian Drakes good enough to get under it and lofted it high, hard, and far over long on.
Well, that's the important, getting under it, clearing that front leg. Lot of right hand in this shot too, and timing it immaculately. And the ball traveling clear of the man on the long on boundary and has gone out of the playing area. That ball is going to take some fetching.
It is back already because the spectator over the road quickly doing the retrieval for us. Thanks to him. So 143 for 6 with 2 legal deliveries remaining. Do you think they will get up to that 150 mark?
Well, if Drakes can play a shot similar to the one he played just the previous delivery, definitely.
Thompson into bowl to Drakes. Drakes is getting a full delivery, pitched up this time into the stumps. It's gone for 1 as it goes into the onside, and Len Gill from backward square does the work. Ball back with Derwin Thompson. The batsmen have completed 2 runs. Drakes goes up to 11 and he scrubbed to 145. 145 for 6 with 1 legal delivery remaining in the innings. It's being bowled by Derwin Thompson on his way into Drakes. So Drakes hitting this one high, hard, and handsome over the forward square leg region. And in fact, the umpire indicates that one would drop just inside the boundary line. So a boundary to Ian Drakes to end the inning. So they will finish on 149. Ian Drakes will finish on 15. So a good cameo by Ian Drakes at the end. 15 from 6 deliveries. 149 for 6. The veterans team winning the toss and electing to bat 149 for 6. Ian Drakes not out on 16. Anthony Morris not out on 4. To finish the innings being holder in grand style for the veterans team.
Well, Kirk, I dare say that when they won the toss and elected to bat, and you had told the veterans that they would get up to 149 for 6 of their 20 overs, they would have been happy with that. And I think now, with 150 runs to defend, it is all theirs to keep their unbeaten run intact. The Limers, on the other hand, the defending champions, have all to play for, and I think we've got a very, very good game on our hands.
So quickly, Ron Bates caught Ken Mears off the ball of Winston Cam Giddens for 18. Gordon Maxwell bowl Victor Patrick for 1. Brian Johnson bowled by Derwin Thompson for 54. The top scorer in the innings of 39 balls, 78 minutes of batting, 2 4s and 4 6s. Orion Bostic, he was caught. Wicketkeeper Gregory Gaskin, all the bowling of Victor Patrick for 4. Winston Warren, he was bowled by Kenny Mears for 25. Pedro Aguirre, he was caught Victor Patrick off the ball of David Estwick for 18. Anthony Morris not out on 4. Ian Drakes not out on 15. There were some 10 extras, made about 5 leg byes and 5 wides. 149 for 6. Quickly the bowling figures. Victor Patrick's 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 22. Winston Cam Giddens 3 overs, No maidens, 1 for 25. Ken Mears, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 19. Len Gill, 4 overs, no maidens, none for 22. Derwin Thompson, 2.4 overs, 1 for 20. Dave Estwick, 2.2 overs, none, 1 for 36. Very expensive indeed. So the veterans team winning the toss and electing to bat at the halfway stage. They got up to 149, 149 for 6. So if the Limers are to get their third taste of championship victory here at the BNOC ground in the Amass over 50s Masters competition, they will need to get up to 150 in their turn at the crease.
Any investment in education is a positive step in the development of our society. Call the Calvary Institute. We offer a wide range of vocational and technology courses. We offer personalized support to students at primary and secondary level. Call us at 426-2337 or WhatsApp 851-2109.
So we are ready for the resumption of this the Masters over 50s competition. The Limers team, the defending champions, they will have to get up to 150 if they are to claim this year's title win holder.
Well, this is chapter 2 of the final. And we still ask the question, who will it be? But only one will remain standing by the end. And an interesting statistic in the competition, Kirk, in the 4 years of the competition, the only two teams to ever play in the final are these two teams. So it's now 2-1 to the Limers. So the veterans looking to even the head-to-head. As we have Ian Drakes to start the bowling from the northern or pavilion end. Michael Agard and Ken Mears the opening pair. And Drake's first delivery is driven. Beats the man at short extra cover diving. Beats the man coming down from mid-off. As a matter of fact, he pulls it back, keeps it inside the rope. But I think Brian Johnson is having some problems with his left hamstring, Kurt.
Well, not a good look for the veterans team so early in the piece, as the captain, Brian Johnson, seems to have injured himself in that chase.
So if you had to make the choice, Kirk, an injured Brian Johnson or allow that ball to run in the boundary for 4?
Well, I don't have to make that choice. Brian Johnson had it to make, and he ended up with an injured Brian Johnson.
So some concern shown out there on the boundary, but a nice shot driven by Agard. It beat the fielder in at short extra cover. Johnson was at the edge of the circle at mid-off. Chased it well. Did well enough to actually pull it back inside of the rope, restricting the scoring to 2. But in the meantime, he did some damage to his thigh, hamstring, somewhere in that area. And we'll wait to see what the outcome of that will be. He's also the captain of the veteran side, so if he had to come off, I'm sure they've got adequate cover, quite a lot of experience in this veterans team.
For your Edgel will come on to be the...
So a man called Anthony Fireworks Edgel. Actually ran into Fireworks earlier this morning in the little supermarket there at Charles Road Bridge. And out of my peripheral vision, I saw this person. I tell myself, that has to be Fire. So here he is again on the field for his captain. So after one delivery.
A lovely shot though, Ian Holder. Must be a splendid shot there by your guard.
Brian Johnson having to withdraw from the on-field contest. So his advice and leadership will have to come from off the field as this delivery outside the all-stump. Chop behind point. And the Fireworks Edger will have the job of retrieving the ball from the boundary at wide third.
Short delivery wide outside the all-stump and cut beautifully by Yeager. Back and cutting viciously down to the backward point third man boundary for 4.
But he's batting with a bat that seems to only have a middle. Both these deliveries come from perfectly out of the sweet spot of the bat. So he picks up a boundary, 6 off the first 2 balls. Drake's bowling left arm between the umpire and the stumps around the wicket. And again, this one is driven. Ron Bates from cover. He also has the duty of escorting that ball up to the deep cover boundary and then to retrieve it. Michael Agard on fire quite early.
2 lovely shots. In fact, 3 lovely shots. The first one was all elegance. The second one was brute force slap behind point. And the third one driven majestically through the cover region all along the ground. 3 lovely shots by Yeager to open his account.
And as I mentioned earlier, the outfield trimmed in the fashion that the batters getting full value for their shots. So, if anything, Drake's guilty, though, of being a bit wide. All 3 deliveries, 2 pitched up, 1 short, but the general error has been the width, Kurt.
So I'm watching the field change now because he's asking the man to go out on the sweeper boundary. He's asking the man to come in from mid-wicket, off the mid-wicket boundary, and the man will come in and ball stick is coming to long on, and O'Geese will go into that mid-wicket region. So 45 in the offside field way and holder, as opposed to trying to bowl a tighter line.
Well, of 3 deliveries, 10 for no loss. Flying start. And Drakes is striking his man. Getting some shape into the right hand of Ian Drakes. That one drifting in the air. But umpire Lewis would have been ruling that ball doing too much to actually challenge the stumps. It's in again, and this time again keeping it tight, keeping it close to the batter. Again, not offering that width that he did with those first 3 deliveries.
Yeah, so tightening up his line is Ian Drakes, getting a lot straighter.
Here he is, turning to the onside. Straight to the fielder there, Gordon Maxwell at short. Fine. Another dot, so 2 boundaries, a 2, and then 3 dot balls. First over, all action. Limers, 10 without loss after 1. Straight mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket, and Ron Bates at a backward square bordering on a short fine. So the protection in the deep, all on the onside. So the Limers looking for a strong start from their opening pair. Mirror settles. Archer's in. This one on the leg stump, clipped away into the onside. The diving figure of Emerson Jordan there at short mid-wicket. Eluded. And a single picked up. So Mears is up and running. He's 1. The total is 11. So Agar to take strike from Archer for the first time.
Interesting to see how Agar starts his innings against Archer, who's a bit fuller and straighter.
Here he is, Archer. And Agar is hitting this one airborne for a while, but landing safely in front of the fielder at mid-off, the substitute, Anthony Edgell.
Uppishly, but landing safely in front of the man Edgell coming in at mid-off.
Coming in close to the stumps is Archer, and Agar gets a very good delivery. Having to negotiate one right up into the block hole. Looking to give himself a bit of room with one notice in his initial movement.
Archer, nice full line of length, attacking the stumps.
Here he is again. Good delivery off the, well, guided away down to short third on the front foot and at the last moment opening the face of the bat Agar. Gets a single. He's up to 11, the total 12 without loss. Outside the off stump, lofted high out towards cow corner. One bounce and a roll across the rope. It goes. That's 4 good runs to Ken Mears. So at the end of over number 2, with a boundary of the final delivery of that second over, the Limers with 150 to win to defend their title, 16 without loss. pitches long off position. As this delivery short into the wicket, pulled away for 4. Quick movement by Gregory Gaskin. Short delivery first onto the front foot, but quickly transferring the weight and dispatching it out in front of square for a boundary.
Poor bowling by Ian Drakes because the captain had just asked the man at mid-off to go back down to long off. Asking Drakes to probably bowl the ball straight, but Ian Drakes instead pulling down a short delivery, and the batsman equal to the task into his wicket quite early and dispatching it into the boundary.
So you know the result, Kurt? He's pushed the man back at the deep square leg boundary, and he's asked that man that he just asked to come to long off to come back in the circle at
so
mid-off.
Definitely the acting captain and the bowler Drakes not on the same page.
Aircraft taking off from the Grantley Adams International down the leg side through the keeper. It's going to go run down towards the boundary, but they'll only get 1.
So, interesting enough, the first over by Drakes, the first 3 deliveries were very, very wayward, and then the batsman Agard, and then he tidied up his line of length. And the start of this over, he was very, very immaculate, very good stuff, picking up 2 wickets, and now he's gone here. 3 deliveries.
There's a word for that, Kurt. It's called erratic. This time, it's down the leg side, but no wide call, so it suggests that there may have been a nick onto the pad. Drakes completes his second over, the third of the innings. Limers at this point, 22 for 2. Kirk, you're still a way off from playing over 50s, aren't you?
Very far away.
Not something that you actually look forward to. You only do it when it happens. As Hayden Archer continues, chopped down to the man at short third. As a matter of fact, bowled off stump rock back. I saw the batter go into the shot, looking to chop it away behind point. I saw the ball rush past the keeper who was blocking my view. But now that he has cleared the way, City off stump rock back. Another success for the veterans. Limers go into deeper problems. Gregory Gaskin, the very important wicket, goes bowled by Hayden Archer for 4. Well, 22 for 2 becomes 22 for 3.
Gaskin obviously wasn't watching the operations of Archer previous over because all the balls were full and straight at the stumps, and there was the batsman Gaskin back of the way attempting to cut a full delivery being holder and losing his all stump in the process.
Well, yes, again, another batter guilty of going back to a delivery that was pitched a bit too close to him and not actually getting any bat onto it whatsoever. 22 for 3, and Dave Eswick coming to the wicket a lot earlier than he would have desired, with his team not exactly in dire straits, but in deep waters, deep and murky waters at 22 for 3. Only in the 4th over. Remember the target, 150, after the veterans tallied 149 for 6, winning the toss and batting. Stroked into the offside. Eswick gets the first delivery. Baton ball. So this innings, like the previous innings, Kurt, at the stage where the operation is to rebuild.
Well, yes, 3 early wickets, so no, definitely in the rebuilding stage.
Archer again pitching up, driven by Eswick, the bowler getting a foot to it. Ball ricocheting up to mid-off. So game at a very, very intriguing stage. Could go either way. We can see a continuation of the fall of these wickets. We can see a rebuild. We can see a counter-attack. Struck on the pad, but delivery clearly heading down the leg side. No run. So it's been all veterans after those first three deliveries of this innings. It has all been veterans ever since. 22 for 3. On that off stump. He's been living on that off stump or just about Hayden Archer.
Yeah, some good stuff being served out here by your Archer. On or about these stumps, asking questions of the defense of the batters each and every time.
Getting the ball to shape away slightly, to straighten more or less from his bowling that angle over the wicket, the right arm over the wicket. Tends to get fairly close to the umpire and the stumps as he is again just pulling his length slightly back. Eswick can do no more than just drop it away into the offside. The end of another good over, a maiden over in fact by Archer. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 8. Ian Drake's 2 for 16 from his 2. 4 overs gone. Limers set 150 to win, 22 for 3. Well, the action definitely in the center of BNOC. Swept. There goes the umpire. Nothing before raising the finger. Drake strikes again. Mears going for the sweep shot, getting that left pad down the track. He's still holding that position, trying to assess his bearings and make a decision for himself. But that is not going to be important. The important person has already made the decision. He is out. Leg before wicket to Ian Drakes for 5. Limers struggling. 22 for 4.
There was Ken Mears sweeping across the line, Wayne Holder. You know, in this cricket, in fact, in most cricket, when you don't connect, you always open yourself up to the discretion of the umpire. And the LBW rule states, in the opinion of the umpire, the ball would go on to hit the stumps. And that's all that matters as umpire James Jimmy Lewis raises that dreaded index finger to signal the end of Ken Mears' 2024 campaign. And his team, now the Lermers team, the defending champions, definitely in a bit of strife, 22 for 4.
Well, and Jimmy Lewis, he has that tendency of giving you that nod. That nod doesn't mean yes, go ahead. It means yes, go off. And before he raised the finger, so Mears slowly and disconsolately makes his way back to the comfort of his teammates in the pavilion. And Eddie Ince gets a full toss and hits it straight on the bounce to Orion Bostic. They're just forward of square. So again, the innings in some strife as Ince faces up to Drakes again and comes onto the front foot looking to drive one floated up outside the all stump. But Drakes has been able to float the ball up and again get it to shape to drift in to the right-handed batters. We saw him take the inside edge of Keith Steele's bat and bowl him down. And there we saw another one such delivery. As this one, he's pulling down, bowling a lot flatter on this occasion into the leg stump, striking the batter on the pad. The ball falls harmlessly away onto the onside. So very quiet period. At least out there in the middle, not so quiet in the pavilion where the spectators having quite a good time. Quite busy and a lot of chatter going around the ground as Ince gets off the mark. sweetly stroking the delivery in between cover and extra cover. Only for one, not really hitting that delivery, just, as I said, just stroking it off the front foot. So he goes up to one. That total finally moves off 22, goes to 23. This is the final delivery of the 5th over. And Estwick is tickling away down towards fine leg. The batters come back for a second run, but that one doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I said Estwick tickled, but the ball tickling his pad and down to the boundary for 4 leg byes. So 4 welcome runs of the final delivery of the 5th over. And at the end of that, it is 27 for the loss of 4 wickets.
Archer to continue from the road end or the airport end, the sovereign end of the ground. 27 for 4 Archer. 2 overs, conceding just 6 runs and picking up a wicket. So he's done some good bowling for his captain, the standing captain, Anthony Morris, as Brian Johnson, the true leader of this veteran side, is off the field. A delivery driven sweetly to the right of the man at cover, to the left of the man at the whitish cover, down to the man coming off the sweeper boundary and bossed it. 1 more to the score. Takes it up to 28. Morris, the man leading the veterans team in the absence of Brian Johnson, making the crucial decisions. 28 for 4 Ince. He goes up to 2. With him is his partner Dave Estwick, yet to get going. 0 from some 6 deliveries face as Archer on his way into bowl to Estwick. Estwick is back and punching the delivery back to the bowler. Archer in his follow through collects no runs. So some good tight stuff being served up here by the opening bowlers of this, the veterans team, Wayne Ola.
Well, yes, Archer supporting the main wicket taker, Ian Drakes, quite well.
Archer bowls a full delivery, which is driven into the extra cover region, where it's fielded by Gordon Maxwell, himself a former fast bowler in his heyday. Now opening the batting as Archer on his way into bowl, a delivery where the batsman is pulling at a wide down the leg side, called by umpire Carrington. 1 more to the score. 29 for 4. We are definitely in the rebuilding stage.
Well, Archer for the first time straying from that rather immaculate line just to round that off stump.
They need a partnership. They need a partnership. 29 for 4 as Archer's on his way into board Estwick. Estwick is steering a delivery to the right of the man at short third man. The fielder in Ogie sends the return up to keeper Agar. The batsman have enough time to complete 1 run. Takes the score up to 30. Estwick, he opens his account. He goes up to 1 and ends his partner on 2. Comes back in the strike.
When I look into the resources left for the Limers, not a whole lot of confidence. Is this one?
A magnificent shot there by Ince. A delivery from Archer, straying on to the pads of Ince, and Ince equal to the task, whipping it high and hard over the backward square region and into the boundary for 4.
Well, yes, again, Archer not getting it down on that off stump line as he had been doing previously, pitching up on the leg stump, and Eddie Ince playing a really sweet flick off the pads. Ball traveled in the air, but out of the middle of the bat, flew across towards the deep square leg boundary.
34 for 4 in over number 6. It's being bowled by Hayden Archer, 2.5 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 13. On his way, passes umpire Carrington from the southern end of the ground to this delivery. Ints is forward, bat and pad close together pleasantly up along the track. The bowler in his follow through doesn't collect, but the man from extra cover does. And at the end of the batting power play, in pursuit of 150 for victory, the Lemurs 11, 34 for 4.
Well, the advantage to the veterans at the end of the power play, and this pair, Estwick and Ince, it's crucial that they stayed there and build something of a partnership, because as I said, when I look into the resources left, I am not encouraged to, if I can say mildly, Kirk.
Well, 150 runs on the board. Quickly, we'll mention our sponsors: Ricky's Driving School, Jalen's Creations, BJ's Auto Care, Hebe's Beauty and Spa, MJ Air Care Services, the Barbados National Oil Company Limited, JD's Enterprises, The Last Stop Bar and Eatery, Premier World Cargo Inc., Keep in Touch Inc., Terry's Food Truck, and the Amas Sporting Services. As O'Geese comes into the attack, the first bowling change of the innings, bowls a short delivery which is swung backward of square where Gordon Maxwell is in the way and there's no run.
Well, getting away with somewhat of a wayward delivery. Anything to the right or left of Maxwell, the short fine leg position would have been runs. Estwick managed to pick him out perfectly.
So O'Geese on his way into bowl, a beautiful delivery. There's the batsman Estwick forward and groping and beaten outside the yard stump, and the ball taken by wicket-keeper Agard, standing up to the stumps.
Pitching and straightening that delivery from O'Geese.
Useful all-rounder in the local circuit. Plays it straight for the Passage Road side. Is on his way into bowler delivery outside the yard stump. Wide and rightly called so by umpire Lewis. Really wide outside the yard stump. Wicket-keeper Agard had to go a long way to his right to collect that one.
Was starting wide and even going further with a bit of outswing. Delivered with a roundish arm action.
O'Geese 35 for 4. He started up over number 7. On his way into bowl to the batsman who's getting a beautiful outswinging delivery, pitching outside the yard stump and going further away once again to be taken by the keeper as the batsman essayed the drive and didn't make contact.
Well, challenging Estwick with those deliveries, swinging away from him.
O'Geese right arm over the wicket. Bowls a delivery, the batsman is steering into the point region where Edgehill is in attendance, and they will get an easy single. So Estwick goes up to 2. Ints his partners on 6, comes back in the strike. 36 for 4, we're in over number 7. It's being bowled by Raymond O'Geese. First bowling change for the Brian Johnson is off the field injured, pulled up very early in the piece, chasing the first delivery of the innings down to the long off boundary. Anthony Morris deputizing for him. Delivery driven sweetly into the offside by Ince. Bates comes off the sweeper boundary. The return on its way. The batsmen have enough.
Commentators curse Kirk because he's bowling to his field, keeping the ball on or outside the off stump throughout the over so far.
Yes, good stuff. So at the end of the 7th over, the end of the first over, delivered by Raymond O'Geese, and over which he conceded 3 runs. The Limers team trying to stitch a partnership together. Remember, the target is 150. After 7, they're 37 for 4.
prize of $2,000 at stake to the winners.
As Morris comes into the attack, the second bowling change for this veteran side. Remember earlier today they won the toss and they managed to get up to 149 for 6 off their allocation of 20 overs. And the Limers team, the defending champions, in pursuit of that one, 150 in over number 8, 7.2 overs. They are 38 for 4. They would have lost the wickets of Michael Agard, bowled by Ian Drates for 11. Ken Mears, LBW off the bowl of Ian Drates for 5. Keith Seal, bowled by Ian Drates without scoring. And Gregory Gaskin, bowled by Hayden Archer. All batsmen going 3 bowled and 1 LBW. Flighted delivery by Morris brings Estwick forward. Doesn't score. 38 for 4. We're in over number 8. Flighted delivery again by Morris brings Estwick again forward. So a good start here by Morris. Flighted delivery down the track, and when he gets it, plays it quietly into the offside to the left of the man at a straightish extra cover. Looks like Gordon Maxwell gets an easy single, takes us up to 39. 39 for 4.
Quite cautious approach here by Dave Estwick. No risk so far.
A beautiful delivery there by Morris to end over number 8. Tossing it outside the off stump, getting a bit of bounce and turn, and well taken by wicketkeeper Agar. So at the end of over number 8, in pursuit of a target of 150, the Limers 11.39 for 4.
Well, just to mention that the winners will walk away with a prize of some 2,000 Barbados dollars with gold medals to each member of that winning team. The runners-up get $1,500, and the prize for third place is 500 Barbados dollars. There are also prizes for the batter with the most runs, bowler with the most wicket, fielder with the most catches, wicket keeper with the most dismissals. Of course, there's also the player of the finals and the MVP for the player of the tournament.
As Ogis was a delivery outside the off stump yet again. The batsman Estwick pulling away, trying to cut, doesn't make contact. Will be better surveying what they think coming forward and just punching that one in front of him, using the full face of the bat as opposed to that cut shot. As Ogis on his way into bowler delivery, which the batsman is back and attempting to punch into the onside this time. Wicketkeeper Agard from behind the stumps. Quickly behind the stumps does he tidy up. No run result in 39 for 4. We're in over number 9.
That back foot player strategy that has led to the demise of a couple of the batters dismissed so far.
Delivery down the leg side, and wicketkeeper Agard quickly around to his left does the tidying up. Wide call by the umpire. Who score with that sundry goes up to 40. 40 for 4. Estwick on 3. With him is Ince, who's looked good. He's on 8. A partnership thus far of 18 runs. The current run rate 4.80. The required run rate 9.43. As Ogie supposed to deliver, which is wrapping the batsman on the pad. A stifle appeal from wicketkeeper Agard, who's standing down the leg side. Wait for the signal from the umpire if there's any leg by. Signal now by umpire James Jimmy Lewis. Takes the score up by 1 more to 41. 41 for 4.
Noticeable change in tactics by Ogis. The first over, he was tending to get the ball to swing away from the right-handed batter. This over, we've seen the ball swerving in, bowling more of an in-swing delivery.
As Ogis on his way into ball delivery, this is driven high into the air over the man at point. They've gone for 1. They should come back for the second run as Edghill from point is after it, and the man Ron Bates coming off the sweeper boundary return. A good one from Edghill straight into the gloves of the wicketkeeper, but the batsman have enough time to complete 2 runs. As the score of that double goes up to 43 for 4. Ince goes into double figures. He goes up to 10. 10 from 12 deliveries. He struck 1-4.
Looking to break free of those shackles. Ince looking for the big shot. Fortunately for him, getting enough butt onto the ball that it traveled over the head of the fielder inside the circle.
Game very much still interestingly poised. We in hold of Victor Patrick. Can off a bit with the bat. Derwin Thompson in his heyday was one of the better batsmen going around the Division 1 circuit. And Len Gill has proven to be very, very dangerous when he gets going. So the game, interestingly, in the balance, this partnership definitely will need to go a bit deeper. 43 for 4 as Ogis on his way into ace down the track and slaps this one down to long off, where Hayden Archer is in attendance and the return already back up to the bowlers, and the batsmen have enough time for 144 for 4, all the fours here in all 44 for 4 in over number 9.
Well, yes, and the plodding along, as I said, we're into this stage of the game where the Limers batters can ill afford to take chances, to take risks. So we expect this cautious approach to continue as we go through the phase of the innings referred to as the middle phase. 150 will take a lot of getting, but then there's also another term that's become quite fashionable these days. It's about taking the chase deep.
Delivery outside the off stump. That's a really wide. In fact, almost off the wickets. So one more extra.
So mixing up his deliveries is Ogis. He's been out swinging, he's been in swinging, and he's been wide and wayward
so Ogis
at times.
On his way to bowl a delivery down the leg side, bips pleasantly backward of square, where the fielder from backward square comes around to his left in Maxwell. One more to Estwick. So at the end of over number 9, in pursuit of a target of 150, if they are to get their third championship victory here, the Limers team, the defending champions, they are 46 for 4.
Well, just over 100 runs to get, with some 11 overs still to come. So they're still in with a chance. Game hasn't actually gone away totally. But at the moment, the veterans are on a tight hold, ahead by a few lengths, going down the back stretch.
Nice crowd gathered here in the pavilion and to the right of the pavilion as well. Enjoying the breeze and enjoying the sunshine as well over there. Also, the spectators over by the score booth. Down the track, when he gets here, drives pleasantly into the onside. The man Ron Bates coming off the deep forward square boundary. Very laboredly indeed, Ron Bates.
Strong underarm return.
Yeah, Bates has never been one to possess a killer arm. Usually feels that forward short leg for most of his career. As Morris delivery and the batsman is attempting another one of those cuts. A shot that our good friend Andrew Mason says doesn't really have a future.
A naughty shot.
47 for 4. Better advice to keep the ball in front of him. Delivery down the track, and when he gets there is the batsman Ince and getting the delivery off the inside edge and missing the leg stump this time, luckily for him, and the man at the short third man region.
Kurt, I might be having illusions, but I'm almost sure I now saw that stump duck.
As a delivery down the track, and when he gets here, sweeps backward of square. The man coming off the backward square boundary looks like Archer. The batsmen have enough time and they will settle on one. 48 for 4. Ince goes up to 12, the top score of the innings thus far, coming from Ince. 12 from 16 deliveries. With him is Dave Estwick, 5 from 22. Played sweetly into the onside backward square region. They've gone for one. Will they come back for the second? Yes, they will come back and challenge the arm of Archer, who saying is a good return, but the batsman very quick between the wickets. Estwick has enough time as the 50 being brought up for the Limers team. 50 off 64 deliveries, 45 minutes of batting, 5 fours and no sixes as yet. So the 50 coming up. So they require a further 100 runs Wayne Holder.
Well, that's one delivery in this, the 10th over.
So at the halfway stage, I can tell you the Limers team, the defending champions, in pursuit of 150 for victory. At the halfway stage, they would have lost Michael Eagard for 11, Ken Mears for 5, Keith Sealer without scoring, Gregory Gaskin for 4. They are 50 for 4. David Estwick is not out on 7, and with him is Edward Ince, the top scorer of the innings so far, on 12.
Match being played in Jamaica. A game reduced to 3 days. Barbados winning just after lunch on what effectively was the third day of the match. Runs picked up off the first delivery by Edward Ince, a delivery on the pads. Orgis trained down the leg side and clipped away past Maxwell there at short fine leg. And the batsman run 3. So now we have a case of the partnership being 31. They need another 97 runs to win. We have 9 overs and 5 balls remaining. So that puts everything in perspective. August to Eswick this time is driving the ball, peeling out off the outside edge and running into the boundary at whitish third for 4. So first delivery, he was down the leg side, clipped away for 3. This delivery, whitish outside the all stump, and Eswick throwing everything at it and getting enough bat to earn himself a 4.
August overcompensating me, Hola. So he started down the leg side, he tried to compensate, and he's gone a bit too wide and allowing Eswick to free his arms.
Well, his third man is inside the circle. The short third is a backward point. The extra cover right back on the edge of the circle. The long off right back on the boundary. So is the long on. A man at cow corner on the deep mid forward square. Eswick seems to have perfected this shot because here again, the ball off the outer half of the bat, over the fielder at short third man, down to the boundary for another 4.
Eswick showing his aggressive intent. 2 deliveries outside the all stump. And the cricketing world, I would say, throwing the kitchen sink at both of them. Beating the third man. So 2 boundaries to Eswick down to the third man region.
So what they have done, they've pushed that third man right back on the rope, and they're going to bring that man who was at the deep widest mid wicket, the area commonly called cow corner. He's going to come into the circle with some adjustment to the boundary fielders on the onside. So Eswick, maybe an indication that he has decided to change tactics. Another delivery outside the all stump, slapped away a lot squarer, but the result is going to be the same. Is it? No, as a matter of fact, the ball pulls up inside the rope at deep mid wicket, and what a waste. Good throw from Emerson Jordan on the deep and coming through for the single on the arm, taking on the arm of the fielder. Edward Ince left a long way out of his ground. The return was not the strongest, but importantly, Kirk, it was accurate. And the wicketkeeper not having to move broke the stumps with Ince nowhere in sight. And Limers can ill afford to lose a wicket in such fashion. Edward Ince run out for 15. It's 63 now for the loss of 5. So, Kirk, I'm going to ask you the dismissal of Ince, unfortunate or reckless?
Well, reckless in the scheme of things, because the third run, there was really no need for that third run there, especially with Eswick dominating August.
Well, yes, they had picked up a couple of boundaries. That ball went very close to the boundary. I think probably getting carried away with the momentum and to his own demise. For the second time, Kirk, I saw a stump duck. That ball went so close to the off stump, a coat of paint.
Well, Len Gill letting his intentions be clearly known. He didn't even have a sighter. First delivery is all with MIT.
Well,
Into
the
a big drive.
start say Len Gill has batted 4 times. He scored 52 runs and dismissed once. I think he will need to score another 52 to see his team home.
Well, this partnership here now, we can hold at the end of over number 11. I can tell you it's going to be key between Gill and Dave Estwick.
Well, Estwick, the senior partner, really has his work cut out now. Lots of responsibility on his shoulders. He is the main batter. He's the set batter at the moment. And again, respected for his batting in this competition. Has done generally batted well, not only in the Masters, but also playing in the local Division 2, second division competition for BNOC. So he has a track record, let's put it that way, and what they call a body of work. But all of that is going to have to come to the fore if the Limers are going to be able to defend this title, which they've got a fairly tenuous hold on right now. As Anthony Morris bowling right arm off spin, goes for a big hit. Does Gill struck on the pad, enthusiastic appeal from the bowler Morris. Quite noticeably, Kurt, not supported by wicketkeeper Agar.
This is really some reckless batting by Gill already, man. Holder. He's faced 3 balls and he's played 3 massive shots at all 3.
Well, some say attack sometimes the best means of defense. Maybe he's operating on that premise. Masters cricket has become quite popular here in Barbados. We had today starts the beginning of another Masters tournament. This one for players over the age of 40. I suspect a number of these players will also be joining in that competition after this is finished today. Gill looking to work it into the onside and given. Leg before wicket, straight delivery, flat delivery from Morris. Gill playing across the line, looking to whip it away into the onside and makes a hurried retreat to the pavilion as another wicket goes down, another nail goes in to the coffin of the Limers. 65 for 6. Veterans have dominated this competition up to this stage, playing unbeaten so far and in a very, very strong position. Quite noticeably, Kurt, Derwin Thompson has not yet come to the middle, which would suggest that with the injury that we know he's carrying, he may only bat if necessary.
Really looks that way. As you see, Victor Patrick padded up as well.
Victor Patrick, Derwin Thompson, and Winston Gittins. The batters left as Morris brings a successful over to a completion. It is his third, Anthony Morris. 1 wicket for 7 runs. And after some 12 overs, the Limers now struggling. I think they may have to change their name from Limers to Strugglers. 65 for 6. As this one slapped away out towards wide of the long off fielder. And Archer is unable to keep it in play. Goes into the boundary for 4.
Lovely shot there by the man Estwick as he goes up to 21. Pitched up delivery and driven fiercely down the ground. Beating the man Archer coming around to his left and into the long off boundary.
Well, this time not coming off the outer half of the bat, coming out of the meat of the bat and getting it in front of the wicket. Ball really racing across the turf. So Estwick goes into the 20s with that shot. He's up to 21. The total up to 69. Still some distance away from that 150-run target. On the pad, looking to work it into the onside. And can't get a run. Looking to steal a single. The bowler feeding in his follow-through. There is no run. Third man, backward point, cover, extra cover, long off, long on, deep mid-wicket. Then another man between mid-wicket and long on. And a man at short fine leg. Hit in the air. Over the head of the bowler will fall safely. They will stay on the 1 run. Chip in golfing terms, Kirk. I don't know if you're a golfer or you're familiar with the terms in golf. One chipped onto the green. So brings Phillips into strike. Not yet off the mark. O'Geese is again getting this one to shape in to the batter. On the pad, it is taken. Umpire Lewis will turn and signal leg by. 1 more to the extras. Extras 13, 71 for 6. Phillips still not yet off the mark as Estwick comes back on strike. So looking for a hero, the Limers. Will it be Dave Estwick? O'Geese is into him, and he's hitting this one away into the offside, getting it into that gap between extra cover and the cover. Allows him to come back for a second run. So O'Geese coming towards the end of his 4-over allotment. None for 30 so far. He's got 1 delivery left. And Estwick has been enjoying batting against O'Geese these last couple of overs.
Yeah, O'Geese carrying this and giving the batsman a lot of room outside the off stump.
Final delivery. That one is on the stump, stickled into the onside. Looking for that sharp single, Estwick, so that he will retain the strike when the 14th over begins. And after 13, remember, the target 150, Limers 74 for 6. Drake's 3 for 17. Archer 1 for 13. O'Geese 4 overs for 31. And Morris begins his 4th over. 3 overs for 7 runs and 1 wicket before this.
Some good tight stuff there by Anthony Morris.
Starts with a dot. And Estwick is turning this one away behind screen on the onside. He's going quickly for the first, but he wouldn't be able to get a second run because Archer is in off the deep backward square boundary quite quickly. So just the 1 run, and it brings Phillips back on strike. 75 for 6. They require another 75 runs. Only 6 overs and 4 balls left, though. This one is outside the off stump, looking to run it down towards the third man area. Is Phillips not making contact. And this time he's coming onto the front for hitting in the air into and out of the hands of the fielder there at short mid wicket. A bad miss by Bostic. That ball was traveling straight to him, got both hands to it, unable to hold on. A life for Phillips as he gets off the mark. So Bostic retreats to the deep mid-wicket area as Estwick comes on strike. So no one in saving one on the onside, 4 fielders all on the boundary. But the tactic from the veterans has been to keep the field fairly defensively set, as this one a wayward delivery from Morris down the leg side, beats the keeper and runs into the boundary at fine leg for 4 wides. Of course, we've got to add 1 to that. So 5 runs to the total, 5 extras added on to the total. A gift from Morris, but they can afford it with 69 runs required and just 1 ball left of the 14th over. Required rate 11.19. Slap behind point. Phillips is quite keen to come through for 1. Phillips is quite keen to come through for 1 and to come back to the pavilion. As soon as the batter played the shot, the ball going straight to the fielder at backward point, Winston Warren. And Roger Phillips seeing a single where none existed. He's the only person that saw a single there. He comes back for 1. The 7th wicket goes down. I think the die has been cast. So that completes the 14th over. It's become somewhat of a procession, Kurt. You know, we talk about miscommunication, but in this case, there was no... the two batters actually on 2 completely different wavelengths. One on shortwave and one on FM. Derwin Thompson finally coming to the wicket. A leg by signal of that first delivery from Bostic, who's been introduced into the attack for the first time. So Andy Morris, 4 overs for 14 runs and 1 wicket. He's finished. So is O'Geese, 4 overs for 31. Drakes and Archer, 3 overs apiece. And the 5th bowler now being employed, Orient Bostic. Right arm medium pace from the northern end. He's bowling to Estwick. And Estwick is off the back foot, just pushing it into the offside. The fielders are all fielding those inside the circle, right at the edge of the circle. Have the Limers given up, Kurt?
I wouldn't say so just yet. Estwick still at the crease. Derwin Thompson can offer some support with the bat. And Victor Patrick can hold his own with the bat as well.
Estwick on 27. Thompson is shuffling across his wicket. Again, showing signs of discomfort with that left arm, left elbow. Quite ironic. That is the left elbow that is hurting. Sean would suggest, let me complete that, as dabbed away past the vacant slip area and trotting through for a single is Thompson. Gets off the mark. So the veterans looking to close out what has been a magnificent 2024, a mass over 50s Masters T20 competition for them. This one is hit out towards deep mid wicket. They go for one and they will stay on one. August has a fairly strong arm. Return comes up to the non-striker's end. Estwick goes on to 28. The total on to 85 for 7. 65 runs away. Thompson is again looking to repeat that shot played earlier, guiding the ball through the slip area. This time it goes past the outside edge into the gloves of wicketkeeper Agard, who is standing back. Bostic finishes his first over, just conceding the 3 runs. And we've had 15, 5 to go, 65 required, Limers 85 for 7.
So, the assignment is easy. 65 required from 30 deliveries at an asking rate of 13 runs per over. The current rate is 5.67, so they will need to improve on that. In fact, they might even need to double or triple that current rate if they are indeed to get anywhere close to these 65 runs required. It is a bowling change. It will be Emerson Jordan coming into the attack, the former Barbados fast bowling all-rounder. Comes into the attack quite belatedly. 11 overs and 3 wickets in the tournament and conceding some 62 runs. So, Jordan on his way into bowl to the batsman who's punching pleasantly through the offside. They've gone for one. They will get it quite easily as Morris, the standing captain for this veterans team, doesn't feel cleanly and allows the batsman to complete one. So 86 for 7. Also like to say a pleasant good afternoon and thank you to our 2 cameramen, Mr. Kerry Eversley and Mr. David Warderman. They've been doing good work for us here on the Anything Cricket Let's Talk stream.
Of course, at the helm of the technical team, Philip Hackett.
The producer.
Flash Drive Media.
As Jordan, Boza Davies, the batsman, is coming forward. Thompson again, an easy single.
So we will invite you to join us for the presentation of awards and prizes at the completion of the game, which shall not be coming up quite shortly.
63 required. 87 for 7. The target is 150. Punch into the offside. Short delivery, forcing the batsman Estwick back with that single. He goes up to 30 and he scored up to 88. 88 for 7. 62 more required. Wayne Holder. Asking rate now up to 14.31. Current rate 5.62.
It's creeping up earlier. Now it is shooting in the air, that asking rate.
As Jordan on his way into Thompson. Thompson is whipping this one into the onside. They've gone for one. Ron Bates comes off the backward square boundary. They will come back for the second run as Bates is not known to have a very, very strong arm. Allows the batsman to complete 2 runs. His score goes up to 90. 90 for 7. We're in over number 16. It's being bowled by Emerson Jordan, the former Barbados fast bowling all-rounder. Played his trade mainly for the Maple Club. He also had a few stints with Dover. Then he started with Dover, then went to the Maple Club, and then he had a stint with Wildy and a few seasons at Yorkshire, player coach. He's on his way into bowl to Thompson. Thompson's getting a quick, short delivery, but wide called by the umpire. But there is Jordan showing why he was regarded as one of the fierce bowlers back in his head there.
Well, sending a message to Derwin Thompson too, reminding him that he still got it. He still got a bouncer.
Thompson not wearing a helmet either. Usually takes an ambulance at least 45 minutes to get to Woodburn. As Jordan on his way to bowl a short delivery, swinging back into the batsman Thompson, who's equal to the task, punches it into the offside, gets an easy single to end over number 16. The Limers team, the defending champions, in pursuit of 150. They are 92 for 7. The required rate up to 14.5 as Orion Bostic will come into the attack. He will be bowling to Derwin Thompson. Thompson is whipping this one into the backward square leg region where Gordon Maxwell does the fielding. And now Estwick on 30 comes back into strike with the score on 93 for 7. The start of over number 17 is being bowled by Orion Bostic.
Michael Agard 11, Ken Mears 5, Kiwi Seal no score, Gregory Gaskin 4, Edward Ince 15, Len Gill 1, Roger Phillips 1, the batsman dismissed.
And they will now see the dismissal of David Estwick. He goes bowled by Orion Bostic, swinging across the line like a rusty gate, swinging across the line, didn't make contact, loses his bills in the process. So the 8th wicket goes that of David Estwick, bowled by Orion Bostic. And Wayne Holder, I think now that should be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, before that, I was going to suggest that we hear the tune I Believe in Miracles. I think no appropriate song would be Murder, She Wrote.
Victor Patrick with a large fan club in the distance. He's got about 15 spectators making the way from Melrose here to watch him. And he's wearing the number 50 jersey. His team require a further 57 runs. So if he can get what is on his back, they will still be 7 short.
Well, yes, Dave Estwick out for 30. As a matter of fact, I deliberately skipped in when I was running down the score sheet. So Estwick gone for 30, 42 balls, struck some 3-4s. Offered basically the main resistance, some would say the only resistance offered by the Limers.
Interesting, Holder. Remember, Estwick would have put down 2 catches today. He would have come into this game with 2 catches. The man with the most catches in the tournament had 4. So if Estwick had taken his 2, he would have tied with the man with the most catches. And he would have dropped Brian Johnson, a very important catch as well, going a begging early in today's proceedings. And now it is Victor Patrick. He wasn't his usually economical self today with the ball. Can he do something with the bat with a large fan club from in the central of the island?
He would have a lot of time to do it. Only 3 overs and 4 balls left.
5 sixes could change the course of this game,
Tremendously.
As Bostic on his way to Patrick. Patrick is driving into the offside. Pleasantly gone for one hurriedly. Will they come back for the second round? One-handed pick up there by O'Geese. Coming off the sweeper boundary, and then lobs his return to the man Warren. So Patrick opens his account. And the score with that single up to 94. 94 for 8. Remember, the target is 150. It's a long way off. as we see two Limers spectators making their way away.
They have seen enough.
Two former Warner Sergeant Major and Waller Color Sergeant in the Barbados Defense Force. Mitchie Harding, got a lot of respect for him. 94 for 8. As A guard, something not quite right with the field, making some adjustments, asking the man that long on in the injury to come a bit straighter. As Derwin Thompson's shoulder begins to act up again. Elbow, shoulder. His arms usually don't really come over. So he's suffering from elbownitis.
So this is agony for Derwin Thompson.
We'll have a trip to the physio bright and early tomorrow morning.
Like a true soldier, he's given up.
Given up.
He's finally given up.
I'm trying to figure out, though, if that bouncer for Emerson Jordan had anything to do with the recurrent shoulder injury. But Derwin Thompson, he's coming. Looks like he's going to retire with his team requiring 56 off some 3.2 remaining overs. Derwin Thompson will pull up stumps. He can't go any further away and hold up.
So now it's request time, and there's a song that starts, and now the end is here.
Not here, near. 94 for 8. Thompson looks like he's retiring hurt. And the last man, Winston Cam Giddens, will make his way to the crease, win holder. They said that the fat lady is beginning to tune her voice up. 94 for 8 with one batsman retired hurt.
Well, she's here. She's got on her costume. She's just behind the curtain backstage, about to enter.
94 for 8. And the veterans team, remember earlier today, they won the toss, and without hesitation, they decided to take first knock, and their allotment of 20 overs, they managed to get up to 149, thanks mainly to a knock of 54 by their captain, Brian Johnson. And they have applied the screws after the first over from Ian Drates, cost some 10 runs. It is interesting to note that since then, Ian Drates has bowled 2 further overs, picked up 3 wickets, and just conceded 7 more runs. So his 3 overs have now cost 17 runs. But Orion Bostic, the man doing the damage, on his way in to bowl 2 Giddens, and Giddens is wrapped on the pads. Stifle appeal coming from wicketkeeper Agard and Bostic. Umpire Jimmy Lewis nodding in the negative.
Very disciplined display, though, by the bowlers for the veterans. All the bowlers are sticking to the plan.
As Bostic on his way into bowl to the batsman Giddens, and Giddens is misstumped by wicketkeeper Agard wide down the leg side, called by umpire Jimmy Lewis as well. The score goes up to 95. 95 for 8. Just judging by the reaction of the keeper, you can see Agard disgusted with himself. 95 for 8. Bostic on his way. Delivery outside the yard stump. Bit of bounce taken by the keeper. So at the end of over number 17, an over in which Derwin Thompson was forced to retire. And 95 for 8. They require 55 from 21 legal deliveries.
Well, just going through the motions, I would like to suggest, I normally don't call cricket games, this game of glorious uncertainties, but this is going to take something miraculous with a required rate of 18 runs, or over 18 runs and over. Just the last wicket pair at the middle, unless Derwin Thompson is going to go back.
Correction, 55 runs required from 18 deliveries. 55 from 18. be struck. Darren Sammy, that's his philosophy.
So I think this is Drake's coming back. No, it's not. The bowler at the far end. Jordan
will continue on his way into bowl to Victor Patrick. And Patrick is punching into the offside. Looks a classy player. You can hear his spectators over there with a lot of encouragement. You can hear the likes of Skeetman, Dennis Nowell. Those guys made their way from all in Melrose to come out here to support Victor Patrick. He'll have to play a blinder here to get his team over the line. Short delivery swung into the onside, gone for one. Gordon Maxwell is in attendance there at the mid-wicket region. One run, that's all they'll be. But we know that I don't think that is what is required right about now.
Well, there's those 5 sixes for which you've been asking. Still possible. Even with Cam Giddens batting.
96 for 8. One batsman retired her. Jordan bowls a full delivery. They're not interested at all in the single win holder. So this one looking just to peter out. It doesn't look like a lot of attacking intent will be displayed by either batsman.
You know, there was a match played in the qualifier where the Limers pulled up stumps quite early. I think this is a similar situation here. We thought that was irregular, but that seemed to be the norm with the Limers.
Gregory Gaskin and Michael Eagard, they opted for batting practice in a run chase. 96 for 8 as Jordan bowls a delivery which is beating the batsman outside the yard stump with a slip in place in Morris, taken by wicketkeeper Eagard. There is no run.
Beaten for pace there, Giddens.
Short delivery. Feinted down, but quite safely. Past the man at first slip, down to the third man region where they get an easy single. So Gittins, he will open his account. Victor Patrick on 2 comes back in the strike. 97 for 8. We in holder.
You had a question. Will they get up to 3 figures?
They should. Patrick pushes into the offside for a quick single. Bates is in attendance. They will get it quite easily. So 98 for 8 at the end of 18. So with 12 legal deliveries remaining, we hold that they should get up to 100. But the real question is, will they get the required 52?
Well, as a matter of fact, I would say with 98, with 12 deliveries left, they need 2 runs for the 100. I think they getting up to the 150 is out of the question altogether.
The reality is they require 26 runs per over. The current run rate is 5.44. So, with an asking rate of 26 runs per over, the Limers team with Victor Patrick will definitely no need to step on the accelerator. As Grimboxon Bostic, Orion Bostic, 2 overs for 6 runs. He's been very, very miserly with holder, and he's picked up a wicket. Your thoughts on Bostic?
Well, Bostic has had a good time. He's been known as a handy all-round player. His main strength is his batting. But he does take a lot of pride in his bowling. Takes a lot of pride in his cricket generally, Orion Bostic.
On his way into bowl to Patrick. Patrick is getting a delivery which is swinging back at him. Comes forward. Plays it quietly into the offside. Wicketkeeper Eagard is from behind the stumps. Doing the tidying up. The ball is back with Bostic. Now at the top of his mark. Operating from the northern end of the ground. 98 for 8. Still no attacking intent being shown here by Victor Patrick. That is whipped pleasantly. 1 bounce, 2 bounces on a roll into the backward square boundary to 4. So the 100 being brought up, ladies and gentlemen. 100 coming off 119 deliveries, 89 minutes of batting, 9 fours yet to get a 6 in this chase.
A lovely shot there by Patrick. 1 into the pads. And quite sweetly, just picking it off his toes and hitting it high over the mid-wicket area. Couple of bounces into the boundary. So that has been one of the better shots played in this innings by the Limers innings.
102 for 8. Can Patrick be a hero? Required rate 28.80. Ball stick into Patrick. Patrick is hitting this one down the ground with an asking rate of 28. We don't think you can refuse a single.
Well, I don't know. I mean, this guy Andy Morris plays a mean cricket game, though. With 52 runs needed for 2 overs, a ball get hit to the deep mid-wicket boundary. You know Morris playing the deep mid-wicket.
Playing it very tight to the end as ball stick on his way into Patrick. Patrick is swinging. Ball goes should be taken by the keeper. Doesn't make contact. 102 for 8. You hear Victor Patrick being advised by his batting coach. 102 for 8. The veterans team with their captain Brian Johnson off the field. Anthony Morris deputizing for him and doing a really, really good job. 102 for 8. Remember the target is 150 as ball stick on his way into ball to Patrick. Patrick is slapping a delivery into the forward square region where Ron Bates comes off the forward square boundary and lobs his return as per usual up to the bowler's end. One more to the score. 103 for 8. There have been 21 extras in this inning so far, made up of 4 byes, 3 leg byes, 14 wides.
So Patrick farming the strike with 48 runs needed for 7 balls.
As ball stick on his way into ball to Cam Giddens, who's swinging out of delivery into the onside at the end of over number 19. The target is 47. 47 from 6. 47 from 6. Victor Patrick, can he be a hero? I would think not,
Anything is possible. You ask can. Will he be is another question.
103 for 8. It is clear to say with one batsman in Derwin Thompson retired hurt
And unpadded.
with no intention of coming
back to the wicket.
It is clear to say that this beautiful, wonderful challenge trophy will have a different name implanted on the front of it for 2024. It looks like, barring some unforeseen, well, it will take more than one. It will probably take about 3 or 4 miracles at this time.
I think the Limers may have to employ Michael Lashley because they've got to carry this thing to court if they want to win. Only Michael Lashley can save them.
103 for 8 as Ian Drakes.
Or maybe Ralph Thorne.
I will not entertain you on nothing about crossing or nothing. 104 for 8 as we head down the final stretch of the Amass.
I'm talking about the leading attorneys in Barbados.
The Amass over 50s Masters competition. Victor Patrick hitting this one high end of the air. Comes around as Archer and Archer spills it.
That was a difficult catch, Ron.
Yeah, difficult to drop. A 105 for 8. But a difficult catch there to drop by Archer. Putting it down and giving Victor Patrick a life with the team requiring 45 from 5. So we were saying that they required more than 1 miracle. They've just gotten 1. As Morris is putting in a slip, he's asking the man to come in at extra cover.
Well, you know, there was the feeding of the 5,000. There was the turning of water into wine. They thought it was more than 1 miracle.
Cam Giddens definitely not understanding the script. Plays forward, doesn't make contact. Ball goes should be taken by the keeper. 105 for 8. Drakes into ball to Giddens. Giddens is playing a delivery. In fact, Giddens is LBW, struck on the pads, given out by umpire Carrington, and I can assure you with Derwin Thompson not padded up and clearly with no intentions of making his way back to the wicket, I can tell you that the Limers team, the Limers 11, they have been dismissed for 105, handing victory to the Veteran side by some 45 runs. 40, by some 44 runs. And the with 3 balls remaining as well. Quickly, I'll endeavor to run through the bowling figures for you. Ian Drakes, 3.3 overs, 4 wickets for 19 runs. Hayden Archer, 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 13. Raymond Ogies, 4 overs, no maidens, none for 31. Anthony Morris, 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 14. Orion Bostic, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 11. Emerson Jordan, 2 overs, no maidens, none for 10. Quickly, the scorecard. Michael Airgard bowled by Ian Drakes for 11. Ken Mears bowled by Ian Drakes for 5. Keith Seal bowled by Ian Drakes without scoring. Gregory Gaskin bowled by Hayden Archer for 4. Dave Estwick bowled by Orion Bostic for 30. Edward Ince needlessly ran out for 15. But good throw by Emerson Jordan off the third man boundary. Len Gill bowled by Anthony Morris for 1. Roger Phillips ran out as well for 1. Derwin Thompson returned not out on 6. Victor Patrick left not out on 9. And Winston Giddens LBW bowled by Ian Drakes for 1. There were some 22 extras made up of 4 byes, 3 leg byes, 15 wides, 105 all out of 19.3 overs in the pursuit of a target of 150. Your thoughts, Wayne Holder?
Well, it was always on the cards once the veterans were able to make early inroads into this Limers batting. Not a lot of depth to the Limers. Edward Ince coming at number 6, and not a lot of batting left after that. So again, Ince and Estwick with the human task of taking the team up to that 150. And once they were parted, it was just a matter of when. Fine game, though, by the veterans. A fine all-round game, recovering after an early stutter in their innings, posting a competitive total. And then the bowlers are bowling very, very disciplined lines. All the bowlers sticking to the plan and coming out with a very, very easy victory by as many as 44 runs. So we will not be ending here. We're going to take a break, and the presentation will be on the other side for those following on the World Wide Web, following the stream on the World Wide Web. Congratulations to the veterans. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure on behalf of the Amas Sporting Inc. to thank each and every one of you for joining us for this presentation ceremony, which comes at the end of yet another successfully run and very impressively run Amas Masters over 50s T20 cricket competition, the 2024 version. We had a quite exciting game today. The final, in the end, may have been a bit pedestrian, but of course, doing justice to the tournament this year, once again, a happy time had by all concerned, and I'm sure that we look forward to yet another tourney come 2025. The two teams in today's final, we would first of all like to acknowledge our appreciation for the entertainment and of course to congratulate both teams for making it to the final this year. So we are going to go straight ahead with the presentation of awards and prizes. We're going to start with the very important persons, two very, very important persons without whom there can't be a proper cricket game. I'm talking about the officials, the umpires, Messrs. Irving Carrington and Jimmy Lewis. The awards to be presented by Miss Shanice Corbin of Hibby's Beauty and Spa. Mr. Carrington, first of all, congratulations and well done. And to be followed by Mr. Lewis after the photo ops have been taken. And young Jimmy Lewis, and I don't mean the tall one in the red. Congratulations, well done, Mr. Lewis and Mr. Carrington, our officials. The second presentation to be made by Mr. Terry Seeley of Terry's. Of course, Shanice is not going to be leaving because you will have a part to play in this too, so just take, but we're going to invite Mr. Seeley to come. Terry Seeley from Terry's Food Truck. Prize for the most catches, the fielder with the most catches. This goes to Thomas Harris of the Travelers. Thomas himself not present, but his captain, Owen Birch, will accept the trophy on his behalf. And then there's also a spa voucher, compliments of Hibby's Beauty and Spa, to be presented once again by Shanice. And of course, our sponsors, Keep in Touch Inc., represented by Miss Saundra Thompson. Another prize for Mr. Birch to collect on the behalf of Thomas Harris, the fielder with the most catches. I'm going to ask Mr. Birch to quickly put down those parcels because I suspect that he will be joining us, will be rejoining us very, very soon, because the next prize, also presented by Terry's Food Truck, for the wicket keeper with the most dismissals, some 5 dismissals from the Travelers, Owen Birch. And Shanice again will make a presentation to you too, Mr. Birch. Congratulations. And Miss Thompson on the behalf of Keep in Touch Inc. Well done to you, Owen Birch. The bowler with the most wickets, some 16 victims in the competition. He too is from Travelers. His name is Cleveland Grant. Miss Deirdre Estwick from JD's Enterprises. Ask Miss Estwick to come forward and make this presentation. Of course, Shanice is also going to be presenting to Mr. Grant, but first of all, Miss Estwick from JD's Enterprises, bowler with the most wickets. The Travelers taking the lion's share of these individual awards. Cleveland Grant, well done. Keep in touch. Stay there, Cleveland. Don't move. Another lady coming to you with another prize. You're going to need more hands. Well done to you. It's not done yet. We're going to the batsman with the most runs. Miss Deirdre Estwick again to make this presentation on behalf of JD's Enterprises. And for scoring 201 runs, the trophy for the most runs goes to Owen Birch from Travelers. They didn't make it to the final, but they surely made it to the podium. Travelers, 201 runs, Owen Birch. We're going to ask the legend, the great Joel Big Bird Garner, to come forward and make the next presentation, the presentation to the player of the final, the player of the match in today's game. Mr. Joel Garner will make that presentation, and he'll be presenting it to none other than Mr. Brian Johnson of the Veterans for his knock of 54 today. More forward again, Sonja. More prizes for you, Brian. Well done. Got injured, but injured for a good cause. Victorious captain Brian Johnson. Miss Lana Nurse of Jalan's Creations is our next presenter. Don't go too far, Mr. Garner. We're going to be calling on you again. So, Lana Nurse of JD's, not Lana Nurse, of Jalan's Creations, the most valuable player of the tournament. The trophy goes to Owen Birch of Travelers, 201 runs, the most dismissals as a keeper. Don't know where he's going to put all these trophies and prizes. So Owen Birch, the most valuable player, another set of prizes. Let me make a correction at this stage. I referred to Mrs. Estwick as Miss Estwick. Let me correct myself to be politically correct. Mrs. Deirdre Estwick of JD's Enterprises. I do apologize for the error, ma'am. Now we get down to the team prizes. A prize of some $500 for the third prize. Owen Birch, you still ain't finished yet. Travelers. Presentation to be done by Mr. Norman Price of Premier World Incorporated. $500 for the third place team. Travelers, received by their captain, Owen Birch. We're going to ask Mr. Ronnie Gittins to come forward and make the next presentation, which goes to the second place team, the runners-up, and the losers in today's final, a cash prize of some $1,500 on the behalf of the Barbados National Oil Company. Of course, that goes to Limers. Captain Keith Seal giving up the championship, defending champions coming in to today's final. But congratulations to Keith and the Limers. And finally, $2,000 we're going to be is Miss Sandra Thompson from the Keep in Touch Incorporated will make this presentation. And we all know the winner, the veterans, Captain Brian Johnson. And before we complete the presentation, we're going to ask Mr. Garner to come forward and present the gold medals to the winners of the 2024 Masters over 50s T20 competition. I'll ask Mr. Johnson and his players to come forward and receive their medals. They are also, I'm going to ask you, Brian, to come forward to Miss Thompson to receive yet another prize from Keep in Touch Inc. So all the players, after you receive your medal, proceed to Miss Thompson. Come, Morris, Anthony, you were supposed to join everyone, all the players. Receive another prize from Miss Sandra Thompson of Keep in Touch Inc. Well done to the veterans. So they're now even with the Limers, 2 apiece in the head-to-head. So we see what 2025 has to offer when that comes around. Run bits expected back for 2025. Super sub, Anthony Edgell. Eddie Carter, who in bowl a ball. And field the ball and make a run, but he gets a prize. And then the challenge shield. Also to be presented by Mr. Garner. The challenge shield, again, going to the veterans and Brian Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Garner. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That brings us to the end of the presentation ceremony. That brings us to the end of the 2024 tournament. Once again, thanks to everyone who helped to make this the success that it has been. And we look forward to seeing you again 1 year from now. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Travel safely.